Bropez, Rob, you here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are
All right.
live.
Oh, it's back in detention. The second period of detention on Saturday. You're on Saved by the Dice. Hey.
Oh, we're live.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hi,
Mhm.
everybody. I have some problems going on. Mostly thunder and that. And the dryers. I'm gonna try and talk as little as possible.
How's this gonna work if you're
You're the
DM?
DM.
I'm gonna try and choose things wisely. We'll see.
Oh,
Okay.
this will be an experimental uh new way of playing where the DM doesn't do much talking and the prisoners have run of the prison.
I believe the term we're looking for is performance art.
Yes.
Well, maybe, but it's all oratory.
Anti-performance art? I don't know.
I guess it's a new thing we're trying out here on Saved by the Dice. We are groundbreaking in in our
Anyways,
game.
you guys could introduce yourselves, and then I'll give advantage to anyone who wants to do a recap of last session.
Oh
Or not
god.
advantage, sorry, inspiration.
Can I have advantage? All the advantage? Hi, I am Jerry, head creator here on Saved by the Dice, and I am playing Marie, who is a Nelf chick who is also a twin, but her twin is gone, and I am your bard for the evening. But you, audience, can all be bards in your own way because you, just from being here, acquire viewer hit points, which you can spend on various things. Give somebody advantage, give a weird spell, or maybe even a strange side effect, if you will. You can aid us, or you could aid the DM, or you could hoard all your points to yourselves. But it allows you all to be bards in your own way. And how do we spend those, Jeff?
With the commands.
Yes, the commands in your chat. I think you just hit exclamation point. Um, is it
It's exclamation point commands,
item?
and it gives you the list.
Okay, all right. Well, then you
I
you
just
you
uh,
do that.
I just posted it.
Okay, well then yeah, that is how you get her done. And yeah, that's me and my little spiel on the viewer involvement. Next person, Jeff,
Uh,
go.
okay. I'm Jeff. I am playing Ilvin Sane, who is a very ambitious divination wizard of the Shatterkai race, and he likes tarot cards and knowing everything. That's pretty much what he tries to do.
He reads
He's not
fortune.
really Shatterguy. He just doesn't get out in the sun much.
Yeah, and he's not very he's not too emotional.
No.
No, no, no. Dolan from Down Under.
Yes, Dolan from Down Under, who was in Down Under for a while and then escaped.
But no, you're Mark,
Uh,
really.
The other down under.
yes, yeah.
You're a
Well,
sorcerer, or which are you? I forget.
he's a high elf sorcerer who has a passion for devils and things
I.
and likes to sacrifice dryad seeds.
Oh God, so awful.
But he did create a water elemental spirit
Who,
thing.
who you're not gonna abuse, right?
No,
Oh,
so
well,
I'm not going to let anyone in the party abuse her.
that's good to know. Maybe there's hope for you yet, Sterling.
Yes, I am Sterling, playing Tam, who's got some issues right now.
He's going through things, but you've got the band back together. Well, kind of. You're getting the band
Ish.
back.
We'll see how this goes. We have an optimistic episode title, which has me very, very concerned.
I want to know how Kitty Fury feels about all of this.
Tam has some other questions for Kitty Fury, who... we'll burn that bridge when we get to it, I think.
And Rob, our bro Pez.
I'm Bropez, playing Anton, the friendly neighborhood forge cleric. I'm probably gonna make some stuff.
Happy, sad, what makes some stuff what?
He's a manufacturer.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows?
You're going through things as well, aren't you? And of course, presiding over this, second period of detention on this lovely Saturday. Well, it might not be lovely where you're at, but it's lovely where I am. Is Ty, our principal overlord?
Who has some fantastic rain and thunder going on in the background, so
Yeah.
it sounds extra spooky when I say things,
Nice.
God, so ominous.
right?
Uh,
So we already covered the how you viewers can participate. Um, I have I'm having some kind of problems sound wise, but the most of them will go away soon. Even the storm, usually storms don't last very long here. Um, so who would like to do a recap for me of last session and where you guys are at right now?
I can attempt.
You're the bard.
Let me regale you with what happened in our last session. I will refer to Bookie, the thing that I write down in when things happen to me. Right. So, last episode, I came in late because I like to make an entrance. And we discovered on the outer wall some of they're kind of zombies. They wear the head mask thing. And I thought, well, let's just watch them and see what they do. And it was very interesting. We learned things. And then a big monster came out of the ground. It looked like something from Zelda, if you really want to paint the picture. And it grabbed Lana, uh, and somehow it didn't kill her for some reason. We suspect it might have been something to do with Michael. I don't know. Let's see, what next? Oh. And then Dolan turned into an eagle and dropped me, but then he rescued Lana, and then Ilvin summoned a very cool horsey thing, which I named Wind Whistler. And we drove off into the desert where we found a lady who was really angry and creating the zombie people, only to discover that that said lady is Tam's daughter, who's really, really mad at him. And to keep her from killing everyone inside that city, we have decided to help her somehow bring back her mother, thus gathering up the band, which I referred to in Tam's introduction. And that leaves us to trying to execute plan um, bring mama home.
We really need a better name than that.
Yeah,
What, bring
we got to
mama
take
home?
back to work. Take that back to workshop.
Okay. I thought it was a good name. Bring mama home.
Um, how about Operation Country Roads?
That's also
Take me home.
Okay, if Anton is singing, then it must be so. I will write that down in my book.
Thank you.
X out, bring mama home. Country roads. It's a bit vague, but whatever.
That's kind of the
So
idea of an operation name.
somebody had mentioned the idea of doing some coming of age ceremony. What does that entail?
Oh, I'm gonna light some sage and flick holy water on Ilvin's face.
Can I flick some too? I want to flick water on him too.
No, this is serious business.
Okay,
so.
fine.
I would like to I would like you guys to in depth go over with me what your plan is, what you expect. I know we've gone over it, but I just want to reiterate that we're all, or I want us all to be on the same page.
Okay. Um, Ilvin, it's mostly your plan. Discuss.
Okay, so I'm trying to recall all of it, but I think I know enough that the others can correct me where I'm wrong. But I believe that our plan was to utilize Dolan's daughter, and we were going to conjure an elemental and have the spirit. We were going to use the elemental's energy to cause um, the spirit within the Woody that is currently Sterling's wife. We were going to try to cause it to infuse her with energy and bring her soul from the mass that it's currently in back into the body. And we were going to utilize Dolan's daughter to basically turn that elemental into the vessel for it.
But the spirit of the elemental will go back to the elemental plane. So we're not really killing the elemental. It's just we're kind of
We're
using
borrowing it for a while.
Yeah.
Well, no, well, it's not just a while, but it'll regenerate a body and form like back there. So it's not really, murder or anything like that. I think we're being very, very delicate here in our approach.
Yeah, if we're being as delicate as we can be, because otherwise we would require like a person to donate their body to make this work.
Although we are stranded out in the middle of nowhere, have very few skills and very few tools, we're trying not to be gorillas with hammers.
I will also point out a couple of details that have gotten lost in the cracks.
Okay.
The elemental is being used, as you guys stated, as a vessel. So you guys have a body, and you guys are trying to bond the soul to the body. Last we talked about, I thought that you guys were going to use some of the DNA, like basically the mom's or the wife's bones, and that you're going to mix that with the vessel so that it's kind of a hybrid. So that it's more of a like comfortable vessel or something like that.
Yeah, we were aiming for like a
Correct.
genasi, basically, is what
Correct.
we're trying to form a genasi.
You better explain it, that aspect of it. We didn't really.
Yeah, it
Get
sounded way
across.
better last week or 2 weeks
It
ago,
did.
but I've kind of forgotten like half of the plan because it was very, very intricate and there was a lot of spinning
It-
plates.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very complex necromantic ritual that you guys are trying to do that
Yeah.
also involves conjuration and other various things. So essentially, and you guys can correct me if you guys want to do something differently. As I'm aware, you guys are going to try and summon an elemental and bond basically attempt to regrow the wife's body and bond it to the elemental's body, so that it's like a ganassi. It's something so that it has her DNA in it, and then weave her soul from the mask into this body.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna regrow her body or regenerate it. We just need
Well,
some of the genetic material, or am I wrong?
no, we need the elemental to create the body.
Right.
The
Okay.
elemental is the vessel. If you want to use Sullivan's DNA, if you want to use her DNA to bond with it, then you're literally like, basically you guys are putting the two, you're mixing the body that's already there with the DNA of Sullivan, and so she's partially growing and partially just like fusing to this body. Otherwise, she could, if you guys wanted to just use the elementals or the elemental's vessel, not use her DNA, then instead of being Ganassi, then she would be an elemental if it worked.
Right.
Last but not least, if you guys were going to attempt to regrow her body from the bones or to like bond her DNA to this vessel, actually, I think I'll say quite frankly, however you want to do it, if you want to bond Sullivan's soul to another body, you're going to need what the title infers, which is the spark of life. You're going to need something to give it life, because when you rip the soul out of the elemental, the body will die. So
Right.
it needs to be resuscitated somehow. And all of this soul weaving and stuff, i.e., spectromancy, is an art that Tam's daughter has learned and has been using to create the woodies or the zombies or whatever you guys want to call them. So she's the one who's weaving souls and shit.
Can we call them Chippendales?
You could. I'm not sure if that would fit.
I'm sorry.
Um.
We're going with the Woodies.
Okay,
So,
fine.
you
But they're
guys-
not very woodish.
They have wooden face masks.
Are they wooden face masks? I thought they were more like, kind of like cloth things.
No, they're wooden face masks.
I thought they had bags over
No,
their heads.
if they were cloth, I would have been killing them with gust of wind.
But I thought it, like, had a cinch on it, kind of. But never mind what I envisioned.
You envisioned it poorly. I'm sorry. You're thinking of the bags we were putting on people's heads.
We put bags on people's heads?
Yeah, there were silencing bags.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I got
I
one
mean,
of those
this is
put.
pretty much the one thing we haven't tried to put a bag over the head.
So just to kind of
Science.
reiterate, you guys are trying to use the spectromancy magic from the daughter, and you in Ariel, I believe her name is.
Mhm.
You were trying to use her spectromancy magic for the soul weaving, and you are trying to use the magic of the water spirit that you guys have, which is like this reconstruction ancient magic thing that deconstructs things and reconstructs them into their best form. So you're using that for the physical stuff. You're using an Ariel for the soul, and then you also like I said, you need that spark of life thing and the vessel. So
Yeah.
how do you guys want to do this?
Well,
What
lizards.
are you requiring, just out of character, for this spark of life?
I'm going to what I suggest. Sorry, what I suggest for the spark of life bit is that you guys use one of the dryad seeds because it's essentially literally what that is.
Yeah, but that has a soul.
You don't have to use it. You could use someone else's life force, which would kill them. Um, the soul you guys already have, the DNA you have. I will require a check for the summoning, unless it specifically says it doesn't need a check. I thought it did. But for the conjuration, I'll require a skill check, and then I'll probably require a party skill check. And as long as like 3 of you don't roll really badly, you guys will succeed on the overall ritual as a whole.
Okay.
You guys can use inspiration on any of these checks, or any other form of legitimate advantage you guys can make use of.
Hmm.
So you're no matter what, you're requiring somebody or something soul dies for this to work.
I mean, if you guys were able to figure out a way to,
I thought we had, but
What
No.
about Tam's spear?
spear.
What about
Yeah,
it?
your spear.
Um, that has been an heirloom weapon of the tribe for centuries, and
I'm sorry, I need a second.
I'm not sure. Does that spear have sentience? I mean, I'm not.
so
How is that?
here's the thing. And we've never really kind of delved into this, but one of the things about this particular weapon is that it may or may not have collected echoes of its wielders.
Shaman King.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just because it like has experiences doesn't mean it has life.
That's why I'm asking.
Okay. All right.
Can we talk about how this is gonna piss off the Raven Queen?
But if she goes around killing an entire city, that will piss off the Raven Queen more. So we're picking the lesser of the two evils. It's
Why
like nobody's
would the
gonna be
Raven
happy.
Queen care if somebody died?
Well, it's more like somebody's not dying. But the thing is, this lady's killing lots of people like who aren't necessarily the numbers up yet. But we are taking, if we're not going to allow her mother to die, the Raven Queen would not be happy about that. But
It's also us taking an army of undead off the board, which on balance is gonna piss her off negatively.
well, no, I mean, the undead can go pass on. They can pass on. So if anything, that's kind of like one for all of these. You know, it's not like she's not going to be happy. But then, what god is ever happy? My experience, they're never happy. I don't know any happy gods. Actually, I haven't really met any gods per se. But you know, they don't strike me in literature as the most happy people. Even when they are supposedly content, they're not happy. Not really. Maybe if they got out more, did some things for themselves, they would feel empowered. I don't know. Maybe. I want a cookie. Cookies are great.
Alright, we shall be right back. I wasn't sure how long
After
this would be.
these messages, have a cookie.
Okay. I think we are back.
I apologize for the inconvenience to any viewers and players. So what were you guys saying about the spear, or did you guys decide against that?
We don't know because you have to tell us whether it has a soul in it or not. Although it is collecting echoes, does that mean that it has sentience at all?
Okay. Let's back up here for a second. So the scenario that I'm posing, because this is not something that we've really talked in depth about, is this is an heirloom spear from Thames tribe that has gone back, that has been passed down from first spear to first spear over centuries. It is an innately magical weapon, but it was not explicitly described as something like a moonblade that actually trapped part of the wielder's essence. However, given the unique nature of the weapon and how it is kind of handed from warrior to warrior to warrior, is there enough there to potentially consume the spear to meet that spark of life requirement?
I will say that there are energies about it, and that it has a past, and maybe sometimes you even feel almost a sentience. Someone like Ilvin or somebody else with powerful divination magics could probably read all of the people that it's been passed along, but all that is like essences. It's kind of when you leave your hand on something and your hand's warmer than it, and you take your hand off and the area is warm. It's kind of like that. It's something you can use as a link to connect to them, but it's not a soul. I did read Ilvin's thing. How do you propose to get that started?
One sec.
I'm not saying it will or will not work yet.
Um, well,
Yeah, sorry. So I'm mapping that out with him. How much of this have you guys decided upon yet?
well, how does a coming of age ceremony work, Anton? You said there's sage and there's flicking of water. Does there need to be music for that?
No, we're probably gonna have to hike up a mountain. It's
Um,
weird.
a mountain? Seriously?
I mean, there's not one here, but just we'll have to be secluded.
But we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't write the rules. I just do it.
Well, let me see the rules.
Sorry, you don't have the membership card.
What?
Can't read at this library.
What? Oh, well, does Dolan have a membership card?
I don't know, Dolan. Are you a cleric of
I
dawn?
I have different coming of age ceremonies and uh, Anton probably.
Wait. Here, look, she opens a book and a picture of the symbol of Gond appears because she can do that kind of thing. Like, see, you're wrong. I just remembered. I totally am a member. Booyah, Gond. Now, what do they have to do, really?
Well, the first step is you have to bury your head in the sand.
All right, Ilvin, in the sand you go.
Oh no, not for Ilvin. It's different for everybody. You should know that if you have
I'm
actual
not doing.
membership. Is that fraudulent? I'm gonna try to snatch the book.
No. Nobody can touch Bookie. Nobody touches Bookie. But I'm not doing the coming of age ceremony. I would just like to know what all it has to be done.
Yeah, you're not ready for it yet.
No, I'm not.
You got some growing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Okay,
what,
so
like 200 years old?
I'm not 200 years old. No, I'm not.
That's me. Sorry.
you guys are gonna use the coming of age ceremony to give advantage on the rolls, right?
Yeah, it's just a D4.
What are rolls?
D4.
What are
Skill
D4s?
checks.
Okay. Well, Ilvin will have to make a skill check to summon the elemental,
Right.
and like I said earlier, I'm going to have all of you roll me a skill check to see if the ritual itself succeeds, and I'll take I'll take the average, if it will, not the literal average, but like if 3 of you do well, or even just passably, then it'll work.
Nice.
Okay.
Everybody blow on your dice.
Well, who needs the D8 right now?
Well, I'm gonna put a guidance on him as well, so he's gonna get 2 D4s from me.
Nice. I've still got my portents, so I haven't used
Are we
them yet for the day.
seriously not gonna roleplay out the coming of age ceremony?
You guys absolutely can if you want to. I leave that in the hands of Anton and Ilvin.
Behold, my first chest hair.
Nobody wants to see that.
Mazel tov.
Put your shirt back on.
Oh, okay.
Oh
It's
no,
so
no,
white.
you have to take all your clothes off for this.
Okay, it's what he said. You have to take off all your clothes.
Alright. Wait a minute.
There are just black voids where gentleman parts are. Like, literally, it's just darkness.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Shatterkai do not grow body hair. Rather, we grow shadows.
Okay.
No, that's not true at all.
Interesting. All right, so now what? Do you hit his body with the sage branches, or what? What comes next?
No, I really wasn't joking the second time. The only way this is gonna work is if me and him are alone.
Oh.
So wait,
You have to be naked alone with him.
But he doesn't
All
actually
right,
have to be
let's
naked.
let's go around this
okay, good.
Be alone.
this corner here.
Help!
Come here, Wind Whistler. Let's go. Just ring a bell or something when we get to come back.
Just resharing the map for anybody who doesn't yet have it.
Nice.
Right. So right, I'm avoiding the quicksand, and right, Wind Whistler, Dolan, follow me.
I'm staying here with Tim and his daughter and my daughter.
Yes, but okay.
I leave
do
them
y'all
a
want?
board game.
Okay, then y'all go around the corner then if we don't want to leave. There we go.
Right now, Inario and the Water Spirit are talking about the literal details that we've talked about this ritual, comparing notes and shit.
She's so smart for 1 day old.
Right? Well, it helps when you have, like centuries of knowledge. Millennia of knowledge, maybe? Anyways, so the 2 of you go off and do your thing. Is there anything that you guys would like to say or share with everybody?
Y'all do your thing. Together.
As I was
Around the
saying,
corner.
behold my chest hair. I am now a man.
Anton, do you need to make a roll for anything, or how long does the ritual take?
It takes an hour.
Ooh.
I strut
Okay.
around.
Everybody can spend about an hour cooling their heels while they're doing this ritual. I'll give the party a short rest.
Nice.
Yay. I get that more inspiration.
Cool. That's cool, Anton.
So the two of you complete your ritual and make your way back to the party, and you feel more adult, or you think.
I put on my glasses.
You're now going to be an accountant.
So,
Anton, whenever you ask that question, Ilvin just kind of smiles at you and says, God, I hope so.
Oh, okay.
He just has this kind of weird smile on his face.
So what did you do? What did you do? Did you have to do a dance? Did you have to like stand in a position for like 10 minutes without moving? What happened? What happened? What happened?
You'll find out when it's time for your coming of age.
We don't do that sort of thing.
Until then, we adults don't discuss such things with children.
Yeah, you at the kitchen table.
Okay. He's ashamed of where he went to school. He doesn't want to tell anyone.
Shut up. You don't know me. Just because I went to
Step
Shatterkai
one.
Community College.
SKCC.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's step one. Yay, go team. How do you know it worked?
Do I not seem more manly?
Uh,
Hang on.
mm, Tam, does he seem more manly?
Tam is not even responsive to anybody right now.
It's kind of important that this thing works, so you should be very interested and invested in every step of the progress.
I haven't been struck down by lightning. We should be fine.
Maybe? Mm, okay, so I guess we'll say that it worked. What is step two? Do we need an elemental? What comes next? What comes next?
Yep, elemental time.
and Nario kind of speaks up to you, Tam, and she's like, "This, I mean, I don't even fully understand all of this, but I mean, this is dangerous. You do know this is a risk, right? Or are you sure you want to try this? Are you sure you want to go through with this?"
If we don't, you're gonna burn down that city down there, so.
Tam?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to structure this in my head before I start talking. Would you call off your vendetta if we did not?
I can't see myself forgiving them and letting go of this vengeance while she's still dead.
Then we have no other choice.
She kind of takes a deep breath, and you can see the worry all over her shoulders and you know her face and all that, but she probably wants this somewhere about as much as you do. She just knows that this is a dangerous thing that you guys are trying.
This is like Desi stuff.
She looks up and to the group as a whole, and she says, "The only other thing that I feel like I should tell you guys, as this seems like really powerful magic, and I don't know if you guys have noticed yet or not, but I'm not the only power. You could say, I guess, I'm not the only power in the area. This may attract something that we don't want to deal with. So when we do complete this, we should probably get out of here quickly."
That power being.
I couldn't say if there are demons or devils or even. I mean, there are a lot of things that are attracted to raw magic.
But you know that there's something, but you don't know what it is.
I'm just not stupid enough to think that I'm the biggest and baddest thing in the area.
Have you ever met a guy named, Michael?
Michael?
Michael.
Um, no.
Just wondering.
Okay, so is everybody ready for this?
Quite easy it up in here.
Ready enough.
So she walks out and she takes out her sword, I guess. Like, I guess she has a sword or a stick or a spear. Probably a spear, most likely a spear. Anyways, she takes out her spear and traces a large circle in the ground and methodically goes back and forth, forming a symbol that, as players, I'm sure you are all very aware of. She forms a pentagram on the ground, and she explains that this. Well, actually, she doesn't explain it unless you guys ask.
Tamarie is drawing and writing down everything that this little experiment yields, what we do and everything, because Dad might be interested in the results.
And anyone can roll me an Arcana, just as Ilvin did, to try and
Oh, right.
ascertain, like, understand the symbol.
I remember writing those back in the 3rd grade.
Insufferable.
At my super cool school in Shadowfell. You've probably never heard of it.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very selective about the students they took, of course.
Is anybody else gonna roll for it?
I rolled for it, but
So the three of you know that this is a pretty basic use in magical rituals, or a pretty basic symbol that's used in a lot of rituals. What it means tends to change between who's using it, but the most basic understanding of it is that it represents the human body. That the circle itself is supposed to be like the circulation of power, or the circle of life. Different people call it different things, but it's supposed to be a symbol of life, and each of the 5 points, typically if it's headed, like if it's a northern, like if it's pointing upwards, the fifth point is pointing towards the north, then typically it symbolizes the human body. That's where the head goes. The other points are where the hands and the arm, or hands and the feet go, as the Da Vinci body spread out. And each point typically is associated with an element, one of the 5 elements that are believed in most occult lore to have made people. So you've got the air, fire, water, earth, and then spirit. That's probably the basic understanding of this symbol that everybody would use it for. Like, anybody who's first starting in their ritualistic shit would understand this much about it.
Right.
And anybody who asks her to explain it in depth can reiterate this to you. But once she's done making this symbol, she takes out the mask and the bones. She places the mask in the northern point, and she places the bones in the center of the pentagram. She looks at you, Elvin, and she says, "Okay, we've got the DNA, and are we still? I'm a little bit confused. Are we still trying to mix her DNA with the vessel, or are we just using the vessel?"
We're going.
well, should we put a containment thing around this pentagram, or no? Is that not?
Containment? What do you mean?
Well,
They generally are used as a containment.
the
Well, what she's literally doing is creating a magic circle. She's using the spell magic circle.
Yeah.
So, like, Fae, Fiend, and all that stuff have a difficult time getting inside.
And we're conjuring an elemental that's under my control. There's no reason to contain it.
Yeah, it's not.
That's what I was saying earlier.
That's not going to get out of the circle if you summon it inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I explained that I am going to prepare the bones, and like he takes out his mortar and pestle and stuff, and just basically starts smushing it all down into a paste. He like adds some various mysterious fluids, and
So he's crushing the bones?
Well, not all of them, just a piece of one.
It won't. Yeah, it won't take much of the. If you're using a mortar and pestle, it won't take much.
Yeah, I was thinking like a finger bone or two.
You must be very thorough, because Tamarie's writing this down because Dad will be very interested in it.
And whenever that's done, he'll take his little bowl and put it in the center of the pentagram. And then we'll begin summoning the elemental.
So Inariel looks at you, and the water elemental. She steps like Inariel kind of points to her or motions towards her, and she steps into the center of the circle and stands over the bowl. And Inariel says, "Okay, I think the next step is for you to summon the elemental inside."
All right.
Once
I wonder how she feels about us summoning something that's a little bit like her in a way. I don't.
She seems
do you
okay
ask
with
her
it.
how she feels about it?
I would. Yes.
She says that it doesn't. Sorry, what?
Do you have feel any sense of conflict or maybe reservations about?
I'm actually really excited about this. I mean, my purpose for a very, very long time, my only purpose has been to understand, quite frankly, and to create, or maybe just rebuild. And this is helping me to do both of those things. I've never seen this ritual done before. I've never done it myself, and I am quite happy to learn about whether or not this succeeds and to be a part of it. I think this is really cool.
You totally need a Quidesi card. Continue.
All right. So here goes the summoning. Let's see if I can actually get it to cast. Please roll.
So tell me the like the DC and stuff that you need.
It's
Yeah.
10 plus level of the spell, so it's DC 15. And
Didn't you roll that at the end of the last session?
Yeah, I think you did.
I believe you did. And I think you rolled before modifiers like an 18 or something. And I'm not saying that just because I want this to work, because that's actually my recollection of what happened.
well, I didn't have the bonuses then anyway, so let me go ahead and roll it again.
And if you roll too low now, then I'll just say that we take the 18. I'm not here to like railroad you guys or whatever.
Oh, it's a 19.
That'll do.
Can we
Very
take the 18 and bank the 19?
How about 34?
That's awesome, but no, you cannot bank the 19.
Nuts.
So what does this look like for you, Ilvin?
Ilvin casting from the scroll, it's like there's definitely some distortion because it's not really his style of magic and it was written by somebody else. So, like, as he's casting it, his skin in places just kind of becomes a little bit sallow and sunken. Like his eyes kind of sink in a little bit as he is drawing forth this magic. And as he completes the casting of it, there's just like this wave. It's almost just it's almost reminiscent of feathers just kind of exploding off of him as he completes the spell, and they just kind of settle and just immediately melt into nothingness all around. Um, but the elemental that he summons, I believe he wanted air. Is that correct? Was it air or water?
Did
The
the
air,
feathers
water,
have
or
any,
thunder?
aren't
So
they
I don't think there is a thunder elemental, so I
Yeah,
think they're going for air.
air?
Yeah,
Well,
air is the closest to thunder, pretty much.
The reason why I say that is because I'm willing for it to be any damage type. I've created. I'm not going to finish that sentence. I've created other elements than so. I mean, yeah. What element do you want it to be? Which damage type do you want it to be?
Here are your wives that I've prepared earlier.
Yeah.
I have a whole room full of them. Take the one you want most.
Oh dear.
So I don't know what to do quite with that, but so the kind of end result that Tam and Inariel had discussed before was in effect an air elemental.
Okay.
Okay.
He's like the wind.
So yeah, I called down a freaking tornado. That was a 34 on the Arcana check, so it's professional.
That's fucking awesome.
Also, did the feathers have sort of a good vibe or an ominous vibe?
More of an inevitability.
Ominous. Okay.
So this tornado wisps out of the air, and settles into this humanoid form inside of the circle. Nothing like the sand itself is not disturbed. Nothing's disturbed, and this thing speaks out in common. Why have you summoned me? And Ario kind of peeks out from behind it and says, "There's no going back after this next step. Are you sure you're ready for this?"
He says, Ilvin says, yes, I am ready. And he looks to the air elemental and says, building blocks. In
The
answer
air
to his
elemental kind
questions.
of cocks his head sideways in confusion, and you see basically Dolan's daughter, who we do not, I think, have a name for yet, do we?
I think we called her Mira.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, Mira.
So Mira kind of raises her hand up into the air and snaps her fingers behind the air elemental, and you hear this low and incredibly loud screaming noise. It's like a mixture of screaming and maybe like paper tearing. Um, and she looks back at Anario and says, "Now!" And Anario kind of speaks in this bolsterous language. You hear something that you've heard before many times. You hear her speaking. What is the word? Or not the word. What is the language called? Primordial. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, other person. You hear her speaking primordial and waving her arms around, and as this air elemental drops, the marrow mixture kind of picks up in its own tornado and mixes in with the body. And when all is said and done and the wind quiets down, I need all of you to make me a check. Make me an Arcana check.
I'm going to use my 19 on that.
Oh boy.
Where's your 19 from?
Portent.
It's important.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So you got that 16.
31.
Poor Tam got a 6.
Can I give you inspiration?
So I guess from a success-failure standpoint here, what counts as a success? What counts as a failure?
You guys absolutely succeeded because most of you rolled a 16 or higher.
Okay.
So I mean, as long as 3 of you did not roll under like a 15, then we're good.
Okay.
So yeah, the sand outside of the circle starts to pick up and into this whirlwind, and you guys can't see anything for a second as this violent dust devil picks up, and then when everything finally drops and the wind stops whooshing, you see this body like resting on the floor. It looks more solid than the air elemental did, but it doesn't look right almost. The mask itself you see is burning into ashes, and the bowl has you don't even know where that is. You're pretty sure there are pieces of it everywhere inside of the circle. You also notice as Ilvin drops to the ground.
Ellen? I sort of
The
smack
magic
his
of-
face a little.
He actually, like in the howling winds and stuff, he did scream something. If you want to roll a perception, you could try to hear it.
Yeah, I'll say it. Set the DC at 14.
Oh, God. 14.
So, Anton. Oh, you rolled performance first. Okay. So Tamara is the only one who does not
Yeah.
who does not hear.
That was what he shouted.
Oh, wait, no. I'm going to use an inspiration.
Oh, there you go.
I want to hear this. Let's see. It's perception.
Nice. So everybody hears what he said. Does anybody understand it?
Probably not.
What is the actual language?
If you make an Arcana check, you might. It's not an actual language. That's the thing. Tay, I know, would probably actually know about like what just happened. But you could, if you want, make an Arcana check.
Me? You want me to do an Arcana, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend another inspiration because I've always got them, and Arcana. Yeah, I'm not meant to know.
Oh, that's funny that Dolan's the only one that gets it. All right, I'm gonna whisper you, Dolan.
So mad.
So, everybody can notice that Ilvin has dropped to the ground, and all of the weird wind howling and all of that has died out, and you guys actually all feel kind of a wave of magic expand out from the like release from the magic circle, and you see this. Oh yeah, it's gonna look weird because that's not the element that I thought you guys were going with, but that's all right. You still see this laying in the middle of the circle. I thought she was gonna be thunder, but that's okay. She can look blue with air. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um, and you notice as the figure takes a breath.
I'm probably not looking at that right now. I'm looking at the guy who's like, why have you stuck yourself with your own daggers? What is wrong with you?
Knows what he's doing. Probably.
Well, his color isn't the best.
With your 17 of a medicine check, you can tell he is dead, dead.
But
What do you
I'm
guys
just,
do?
I'm like patting his face. He's like, come on. What do you do?
Tam is ignoring it completely and going over to the new body.
Okay, that's.
The figure is breathing and her eyes are fluttering, and you notice some of the features of the contours of her face are that of Sullivan, sorry. And you notice, where Sullivan stops and the air elemental starts, but something there's something else. Something seems a little bit off. There's something you didn't expect, and you're not sure how to interpret it. You can roll me an Arcana check if you would like to.
Uh, why are you slamming things
Stop
into
rolling fours, damn it!
Would
That is not
I
the
think
that is now the
I
third
think
four that I just rolled for an Arcana for Tam in a row.
I think I understand what's happened, people.
What? Okay, what?
We needed a soul.
What? No. Um, uh, 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 does he not have a, what did, what are you doing, Anton? And now I'm gonna put, like, my hand in front of his nose, like, yeah, he's not breathing! What?
So do you actually use a ball of healing light?
He tried casting a revivify.
Oh, did he like actually try to cast Revivify?
Mm-hmm.
It fails. You feel, let me be more specific. You feel the magic go into his body and almost like trickling water, trickling down like the side of a stone, it just dissipates through him.
Uh, uh,
Sullivan picks up and says, Tan, is that, what? Is that you? Where am I?
Is that
Where's
really
Anaya?
in there?
I, I hope so. I feel cold.
What's
do
the
you
last thing
feel
you
manly?
The last thing I remember, I was so far away, like I was lost and I didn't know where I was. It was like I was in a daze, and I couldn't find myself, and I cried out, and there was no one there to hear me. I You see her reach her hand over to her stomach, and almost like all the wind was knocked out of her. She loses her breath and doesn't say anything for a moment.
He's just gonna sit there and wait for her.
She kind of hyperventilates a little bit, and she seems to be in a growing state of panic before she just she literally, you see tears start to form before she just lets out at the top of her lungs. She just starts screaming. What do you guys do?
I'm paying attention to Ilvin. I'm just like,
And Ilvin, I have also sent you PMs on Discord about what you were experiencing.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yes, Ilvin is dead, and a revivication didn't work for some reason. And Sullivan is back, but she is screaming. And Ariel, the daughter, runs to her side and tries to comfort her, but she seems despondent.
okay, this thing has been in my bag for forever. It might be something helpful. I don't know. It's the thing that the guy gave me back when I got the donkey stuff. Uh, 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 Fumbling with it. Like, what is this freaking scroll? What does it do? What does it say? What is it? Blah, 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 blah.
Roll me an Arcana check to try and decipher the language.
What does
Nice,
it say?
23. You can tell that this is a mixture of primordial and some other language. It almost looks like the other language is maybe dwarvish. Some of the characters look elvish. Maybe this might be another kind of ancient language that some of the other languages were based off of. With your 23, you can tell that much. So you can only half read this. And the scroll itself speaks of returning light and a fire that's snuffed out and relit again, and life force returned, and a soul protected, things like that. It's very cryptic.
Uh, 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 help. Okay, is this a musical thingy? Is this a spoken thingy? Uh,
What do you mean musical or spoken?
well, I am a bard. Like, dude, is this? I mean, that's kind of how I cast. But she's just being. She is super freaked out and sort of terrified because she didn't think that he was gonna drop down dead. Kind of thought we had this sort of sorted. Uh, so ha, ha, ha. She's almost become like a person who has forgotten how to drive in a way. She's so freaked out. Like, what's the first thing? Oh, turn on the ignition. Uh, you know, it's like, how do I cast?
I feel for Tamri.
Yeah, I know. She
So
just thought she was gonna be able just to sort of write down the experience, not have to be so involved. She wanted to observe.
on the other side of things,
Yeah.
Sullivan is still screaming. She has impressive lungs for someone who just came back to life.
Well, she's also made of air,
Yeah,
which is
air.
screams.
Yeah, it's just.
Anywho, so I guess what I'm trying to image out here is she just completely freaking out? Is the screams of pain? What's going on?
Roll me an insight check.
Are these emotional pains?
Nice. Okay. Um, Almost as if you just aren't missing a beat. You feel you feel her spirit, and a strong connection with her, almost like a shared empathy, and you feel immediately after realizing you have this connection with her still, you feel a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach, and it's like this empty feeling, almost like you've been starving, for days, only instead of just there being an absence of something, that the very absence itself turns into this fire that builds up and turns into pure terror that courses through the veins of the rest of your body. It spreads out from your stomach, and as you concentrate deeper and deeper on this connection, you feel your mind start to haze over, and you start to almost go blind, as all you feel is there's not something there.
Oh,
It's gone. It's gone.
uh, uh great.
Okay, so what Tam would do then is, so if is this just a feeling of a link, or is it actually a link?
It is a link, and just you have empathy specifically where she is concerned.
Is she
Okay.
clutching her stomach?
She is.
Oh, Christ, there were two souls. Uh,
So what Tam is going to do then is, through that link, he's going to draw off basically as much of that pain and all of that, and bear it himself.
good luck with that.
Roll me a charisma check of your choice.
Oh boy.
Do you want an inspiration?
If you and yeah, you can totally inspire him. If you'd like to, instead of charisma, you can roll an arcana check of your choice. Or yeah.
So
Uh,
from a mechanical perspective, Tam has a Tam has one. He has shit charisma, but he does have proficiency in intimidation. Will you allow me to use that?
why would you use intimidation to comfort
It's
her?
charisma based.
But that's not the right.
Like I
That's
said,
why I'm asking.
it's more like you're trying to assert your charismatic will over the situation, or if you want to go at it from the arcana angle, you were trying to magically manipulate a link. So I would absolutely allow you to use your intimidation, as you're trying to say, no, this is what we're going to feel, I'm going to shoulder this, or however you want to play that out in your head.
All right.
Just as a lady, I'm gonna say
Oh,
that
for
is
fuck's sake.
just odd choice.
Does he have maybe? Do you have advantage for any reason? Maybe.
Checking all the things.
I will say that if you communicate with someone to help you, you could try again, but you would have to roll something different than intimidation.
So it's not a charm effect, so I can't pull that. Sorry, I'm checking all of Tam's 50 bajillion things, seeing if there's anything I can use right here. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like there is. Unless... So this is entirely not as written, but could I burn one or more key points to basically patient defense this?
Describe to me how that works.
So what patient defense does is it allows you to take, by spending a key point, it allows you to take the dodge action, basically, to kind of thematically speaking, it's them kind of like bracing and prepping to either dodge or block or what have you incoming attacks. The way I'm kind of seeing it doing is Tam dipping into his quote unquote spiritual energy pool to basically help him with this flurry of quote unquote attacks that he's trying to bear for her.
He's trying to be emotionally present, is what he's, I think, trying to do.
More so, he's trying to make, I don't want to say a heroic effort, but an extraneous, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, he's at a point, and he's in a situation where he is willing to put basically everything that he is into caring for and protecting this person to his own detriment.
Roll for noble.
Does it
Roll
give
for
you?
chivalry.
Does it give you a bonus or advantage? How does it work?
What the dodge action does is it basically imposes disadvantage on any incoming attack. So kind of in this, I'm basically trying to parlay that into an advantage. So you'll let me roll again.
I want to say yes, but I will say that you can, or that's just a little bit too far fetched, because you're not literally like avoiding an attack. I understand where you're coming from. I will let you roll again, but I won't let you roll intimidation again. You can roll Arcana or Persuasion or Performance. I think is a charisma based.
I wish there was
basically, you can-
diplomacy. I wish there was like a diplomacy.
Okay, so that plus an inspiration might actually do it.
Okay, let's. 8! Yes, yes,
Nice.
yes, 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 yes.
Internet high five.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, you kind of, what was this, Arcana? Okay, so you try to focus on the feeling of the bond between the two of you, the literal link, and almost as if with your mind, maybe your mind's image of yourself, you reach out with your hand and wrap your arm around this link between the two of you, and just grasp your hand tight and pull with every fucking muscle you have. You almost feel like you're pulling on a portion of her. Like, I mean, not a portion of her, but you almost feel like you're pulling who she is out to you. And she gets quieter and quieter, and she, she's breathing like that, trying not to hyperventilate. She's crying. You lose strength in your knees, and your vision goes out, and you fall to the floor.
Is she out or is she still?
She's breathing. She seems to be calming down a bit, and she kind of starts to look around. She seems scared again a little bit, but she's calming. She's calming and getting tired.
I was like, I'm gonna motion to Tam's daughter. What's her name?
In Ariel.
That is so hard for me to say. I was like, your mom, there, go.
Oh yeah, she's already crouching down next to her. She's trying to hold her and calm her down.
Okay, all right, okay, good. All right. So this thing. How to magic. Right. First step on said scroll is Dolan. Could you help me with this?
Give me the thing and I'll try and read it.
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe if I hold it and you read it, because if I give it to you, the text will probably disappear. Because this thing has been attuning to me for a week or so.
Dolan, sorry, what?
I was gonna say I don't think that's how scrolls work, but okay.
This one does.
Dolan, roll me an Arcana check.
This one works that way.
You feel like the scroll is strange, or maybe she's crazy and it's not actually magical at all.
I don't think it's magical. It's just a scroll with weird writing on it.
No. This is primordial, and some really early Dwarven, Sylvan. I don't really get the
Just
characters.
because there's lots of languages on there that are a bit strange doesn't make it magical.
Okay. All right. What can I do with this thing, DM? Because I feel like using it for, like, she's frustrated, but when is this thing supposed to come into play? I don't.
Why don't you roll me an Arcana check yourself?
I did to read it a while ago. 23.
Yes. Well, if you already rolled a 23, then and you would not like to roll again, then you have all the information that I plan to give you.
Oh my goodness. Okay. 19.
So, what's it called? Yes. So with your 19 and the knowledge that you've known before, or that you gleaned from it before, oh, that's right. When you were saying your Arcana check, you mean earlier in this session?
I meant on this scroll in this session.
Yeah, but in this session, so you've already rolled for it.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that in a previous session.
No, you just had me roll on the scroll and it was a 23. So I was like, well, roll again on the scroll?
Yeah, okay, so that makes more sense. Unfortunately, you don't have any more information on it. It seems, magically speaking, it definitely seems it seems like a mixture of abjuration and necromancy, and it seems bonded to you.
This thing is weird and so unhelpful. Anton, any ideas?
I'm kind of just freaking the fuck out about Dead Boy here.
Yeah. So he is dead. He's 100% dead.
He's not breathing.
Okay. Do I speak with Dedim? Did he know this would happen?
It's like his body's resisting magic right now.
A body resisting magic? What? He would have to have something on him that would, like, dispel magic. There would have to be something. I'm starting to look at his hands now. Because that's odd when he says that. So I'm looking on his person now. I am getting very intimate. I am like feeling. I'm not looking with my eyes. I am touching to see if I feel anything that would go invisible.
Roll a dex save.
You're a bastard.
I'm just kidding.
Do I roll the dex save or not?
No.
What? Do I find anything?
His gear.
Okay, there's nothing innately that's keep on his person that's preventing magic. What the hell? What would Dad do? What would Grandfather do? Oh, so many. Who would they do?
And what are the rest of you doing?
Tam is semi-not conscious right now. Yes.
Tam, you feel like someone's carving through your brain. No, your heart, your soul. Oh God, it's all everywhere with a hot knife. It's pure panic turned into rage, turned into panic again. Yeah.
Your missus be freaking out.
So what he's gonna do with that then is he's gonna trance, and what he's gonna do is he's gonna partition all of that off, or as much of that as he can off, such that it's
good.
So that it's less impactful, I guess, since that's kind of the exact kind of thing that the mental exercise that you do.
That's
when
what
you
they.
trance.
That's what they say in Lamaze too. Breathe through it. Breathe. I've never been to Lamaze. I just know that's a thing.
Well, Le Mans is mostly how much caffeine do you need to stay awake for 24 hours, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. Now I do. What, do you mean like going to the classes? Or do you mean actually the practice of Lamaze through birth?
We're talking two different things here.
Okay, alright.
Carry on.
Roll me either an intelligence-based or charisma-based check to see how well your trancing is helping to control yourself.
All right. You want just a straight check or a skill base? I feel like this is less skill and more just sheer willpower.
Yeah, if you want to do a straight check, you can.
All
Beat a 13 because you're well practiced at this.
right. Okay.
It's sheer painful terror, but you're practiced at doing exactly this.
Okay, so I'm gonna use intelligence then. Yeah, if that's okay. And I was really starting to like this dice caller after one roll.
Oh. And an 8 would make it not good enough.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the only way that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are better uses for.
So this
right
is
now, so.
odd. A monk that is not able to trance, or even a elf who's not being able to trance. This is
Normally he would, but his mind is in an induced, willfully intentional, severe panic. Like he brought this willingly on himself, and now it's like, oh God, I regret this. Fuck.
It's hard being a lady.
I mean, he's just gonna take it because this is why he did this, so that she wouldn't have to. Even if it kills him.
Roll for chivalry.
We will get back to what you're experiencing. Anton, Dolan, Marie, what do you guys do?
Okay. Dear Baravan, Wild Wanderer, it's me, T. Marie. Yeah, hi. I just want to say this: the guy that's sort of comatose. Well, he's not breathing here. He has not done with his traveling. I don't think, because really he just became a man, and that's just cut way too quick. So if you could find it in your benevolence to maybe guide him back to the path, that would be great. Opens eyes and looks down. Nothing, right? Nothing.
Give me just a sec.
Hey Marie, come
What?
sit over here with us.
And be nonplussed when somebody's just died?
I mean, it's not exactly the first time.
He's trapped, sort of.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Just a feeling.
Just a feeling, and what would lead you to believe that?
We need to...
At that very moment, Ilvin breathes again.
What do you
Never
know?
mind.
What do you know? Baravan Wild Wonder isn't like vacation. My grandfather said so, but I didn't believe him. But I guess now he's not on vacation. Yay! Yay! Praise be Baravan! And I hug him because I'm so pleased.
Ilvin kind of sits up looking around, and he just kind of shudders and tears start falling down his face as he says, "She wasn't at the Black Gate. Vecna was there."
There's a tiny Nelf clutching onto you. What? Huh?
I went to try to gain audience with the Raven Queen. She should have
Do you
been
have
there.
to die to do that?
It's a long walk. It's the fastest way. But
Well, could you tell us the next time you decide to go and have a cup of tea with her?
would you have understand if I did?
Well, it would be better than me freaking out and trying to use scrolls that I don't understand and doing unnecessary things.
I tried to reach the Black Gate. and there was nothing there but Vecna. And I was able to return thanks to hearing Dolan's voice, but you, sir, there's something very wrong with you.
What? He was pretty much quiet the entire time.
Can we go back to how Vecna is now the bouncer at the gates of hell?
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a big problem. I don't know what's happened, but
Also, don't mind Tam as he's completely freaking out over there. But carry on.
I need to go to the Shadowfell. I need to find out what's going on.
well, Tamery just pretty much shoves you away from her now. It's like, well, I wasn't concerned about you at all.
Tam,
What did-
you are. Sorry, go ahead.
What did Vecna say, or if he said anything to you?
What, are you expecting him to, like, have a message for you?
No, just wondering if he met Ilvin at the Black Gates. Did he want something from him?
I think he wanted to claim me. I ran away from him. He was reaching out with a stump.
So, Tam, you are still blind, and you are shivering on the hot, hot sand, but you can't feel the heat. And anybody who looks over at him can notice that he is sweating and holding his chest and balled up, shivering. Feeling wise, you feel the fear and the pain almost like an infection. You feel the link between you and Sullivan, and you feel like right now it's just too much to handle. But if you could just press some of it into that link, if you could just release some of the pressure, maybe you could think straight again.
This is a weird thing, but it would be very epically cool if it could help at all. One of the things that Topsy could do, she didn't do it often, but if she barely touched a person, she could flood them with so much happiness and joy. Tamery can't really do that. It would take an exceedingly freaking high roll for a person just to kind of feel slightly content.
Well, she related to her, so maybe you've inherited it. Maybe you've never tried it before.
Well, it's just she just doesn't have the ability to. I mean, Topsy is just joy. She is the embodiment of joy.
But Topsy's also your mother. You might have been.
She is.
If you want to try it, I'll let you roll for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over to him and I'm gonna sort of bear hug him. I look like I am so bipolar right now because I was clinging to Ilvin. Now I'm clinging to an emotionally volatile Faye. I'm going to try and do a super high charisma roll to see if I can help him at all. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll straight up charisma.
You can roll any of the checks, any charisma check you would like to. Also, I will say, however, you cannot inspire yourself.
No, I never do inspire myself.
It was something I was going to allow, but then I didn't want to make this too easy because you're trying to do
this is okay. So, I guess I will do performance, and I'll just like try to hug him and just sort of try and flood some. It's okay.
Why don't you beat a? I don't want to be a dick. Why don't you beat a 16?
Oh no, you have to up it more than that, brah.
Okay, then beat an 18.
I think it needs to be over a 20 because this is not easy for her.
It's not easy, but I'm not trying to make shit, impossible.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's like I can't do it. Damn. Mom was here, she could do it.
Tim, roll me a either a Constitution saving throw or a Charisma saving throw, one or the other. And I want you to beat. This is pretty tough. I want you to beat a 16.
Oh, he does it. He does it. He does it in spades.
Nice. You go into shock. I mean, you were already into shock, but you go into the next stage of shock. You feel like you open your eyes and you can see nothing but white. You're sitting on the ground. You can't hear anything. You feel a little bit of a chill. You have completely receded into your mind, and you see white everywhere.
You okay?
What do you do, if anything?
He's just gonna keep that link open and keep drawing as much of.
So you're gonna let more of it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, this is his wife, the woman that he loves, and the mother of his child, who he failed to protect the first time. I think that says enough about how far he's willing to go right now.
Okay. And you rolled a pretty damn high constitution, so I will say that with this tactic of you trying to stabilize your mind, when you make the decision against your own gut and your own instincts, and you tell yourself, "No, we're going to take in all of this that we can," you fill yourself up like a cold chill runs not just around you like a wind in the atmosphere, but you feel it enter inside of you, and you feel cold everywhere as you start to lose feeling, but you refuse to give up. And over time, in this white space where there is nothing, you feel yourself kind of master it. You've accepted this, and this is a part of you. Um, you open your eyes and can see reality, but on top of that, you also see this image of yourself, constant, like an image laid on top of an image with your real sight. You see yourself in this white room with just this cold wind, and you're crouched on the ground dealing with this, but you can move your body. What do you guys do?
So he's gonna go check on Sullivan.
Every time you touch her, you feel yourself. When you look at her, you're reminded of this pain, and you hear just a second's worth of you screaming at the top of your lungs. You don't even, in this image where you see yourself crouched in this white room, you don't even see yourself screaming. But when you look at her, just for a flash, just for a half of a second, you hear yourself screaming in your ears. But you can differentiate. You can tell this isn't. That's not quite reality. That's just yourself coping with this. Sullivan herself, she seems a little bit shaken and tired, but she looks at you, and she's like, are you okay? Where but the baby's gone.
He's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna wrap her up in his arms rather.
She cries into you, and at first, with everything you're dealing with, it's too much, and you kind of want to push it away, but then you realize, no, this is exactly what I need right now, and you just let all of her tears wash over you, and it's painful, and somehow you get the feeling that it's always going to be painful. You're always going to be saddled with this pure terror and pain that you've shunted into yourself, but it's not the only thing you experience. And once again, you are with Inariel and Sullivan, and there is love.
I whispered to Tay, why don't you cast them a secure shelter? Just cast it around them. And I'll cast one for us to camp in.
I don't have secure shelter. I have terrific TP.
Same thing. Or I'll cast
Also-
secure shelter.
Ilvin, you take on a level of exhaustion,
Mm-hmm.
and I will say that other than I'll say a level of exhaustion is all you take on as you feel icy cold inside, and like your spirit is screaming out.
Yeah, he's not happy. But
So,
he's trying to be
I
practical.
do the terrific TP, for them.
I'll drop a secure shelter for the rest of the group.
Okay. Would you guys like to rest here? I mean, obviously, but I mean, would you guys like to take a long rest?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Ilvin
will
just
say
found out that his goddess got replaced by a double amputee lich. He's not doing well.
Timmery's mad at you.
Aw. I thought she didn't care.
She doesn't care, but she's also mad.
Tamery is a very multifaceted individual.
It's called
Right.
feeling.
Tamery comes. Sorry, Tamery.
Where am I going?
Night comes and passes
I am the night.
pretty uneventfully. Nobody really notices the sunset or rise. Nothing happens. Your TPs protect each other. Everybody's also, interestingly enough, focused on other shit right now. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
You guys wake up and probably still have a couple hours left to your TPs. What do you, as a party, as individuals, what do you guys want to do now? As far as you're aware, the resurrection ritual worked, and Ilvin died, but he's not dead.
Yeah. First thing, if I am going to continue on with you people, you have to let me know when you plan to purposely die so that I don't freak out. I think this is a general courtesy that we could all do with dealing with.
That's fair.
Is it?
Oh, can I die tomorrow then, if you let me, or is that too soon?
If you tell me about it, sure.
Is this a multiple choice question?
I love how all of you are just taking this so unseriously here.
Well, Tam's in a different hut down the road. I'm
This
not
is
actually
true.
speaking as Tam right
Actually,
now.
you're not very far away from me because that is my teepee you're in, and I have to be dealing with it, so you're not halfway down the road.
I am from Dolan.
Okay, all right. So, Group 101. No more dying and journeying off to gods to do so without telling people that that is what you have to do to be able to go through that process. All right?
I didn't know for sure that that was what I would have to do until I saw that it wasn't working.
Well, you could have thrown out some, this could happen, or this could happen, or this could happen. I am a scientist's kid, all right? Just throw some options out there that I can be looking for.
I
All
need
right.
to use the water closet, so why don't we take a 5 minute?
Okay.
Okay.
More cookies.
Cookies for everybody.
Cookies will not make me happy.
Ladao. We are back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Rob, Anton.
I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope that you feel better soon.
Oh
Aw,
no,
it sucks,
is he
dude.
ill?
Yeah, he's
Oh
not feeling
no.
good. So,
So, some crazy shit happened,
indeed.
but a family has been reunited. And speaking of which, Anariel kind of looks to the two of you, Tam and Sullivan, and says, "What now?" Also, roll me a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, that doesn't beat anything. Every time you hear someone speak, um, you hear yourself scream, but
Oh,
you can tell that it's not happening in real life because nobody's reacting to it.
Read lips.
all
Actually,
I said
tell
was good
everyone
morning,
to.
and he punched me 5 times.
Yeah, just like tell people to not actually speak, but to mouth what they're saying.
You can still hear, and and normal noises don't, really bother you. But every time you hear someone speak in your mind, you can hear yourself screaming. It's kind of hard to separate, but you feel like you can master this.
Oh my god, that's like what Beasleby hears all the
Give it a
time.
couple decades, he'll be fine.
Sure.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, Beasleby. It's been a century. How's that going? It still hurts.
Also, roll me a history check.
Who?
Sorry, Tam.
Okay.
Nice, you got a 15. Um, After a little bit of this, when hearing yourself scream when someone says something, you're like, in the image flashes over your eyes, of that dream that you had about the shack and the blue light and the screaming man inside, and you realize that that voice is your voice. This that might have been foretelling this experience. Because I don't plan ahead at all. So yeah, your daughter is asking you what now. I'm pretty sure the party would also like to know what do you plan on doing now.
So he's gonna look to her and say, "That depends on you. We came out here to stop this undead. Are you going to stop it?"
To be perfectly honest, when her soul left the mask, and I can guarantee that this is mom because I put the soul in her myself. But anyways, when her soul left the mask, the very first mask I created, all of the others were undone. There are no more of those zombies. I don't control the big white monster thing. That kind of happened by itself and scares me. But if they don't have anything to feed on, I'm assuming that they die out, because the only way they got that way was the undead that I was creating were feeding off of each other. So I imagine without, as long as the people in that city don't leave the city, they should be fine in a week or two, maybe most.
Okay. Alright.
If you're asking whether or not I'm going to attack the town, my mother's well-being matters more to me than my revenge, which is why I did this.
Okay. How old are you?
Tam, how old is she?
So this is where we kind of get into that problematic timeline bit,
Yeah.
because she was born about 20 years before the Sundering.
Okay. Alright, so
Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna say Uni.
So I want to say that she's like 24, 20, yeah, probably 24, as the Sundering and the temporal bullshit and the space bullshit, they fell through some portals, which is what happened to the clan in the first place. It's why you guys were separated. And she landed, you can figure she probably landed a couple of years back, not even that long, probably
She's older than me. My point is this. At your age, you're over a century old.
Technically, she's only 24, because she hasn't experienced all that time in the in between.
Okay. All right. 24. All right. So in her mind, she's 24. All right. Losing your mom at 24 messed you up so royally. You're going to do that to all those children. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying wrong. But just chew on that.
I understand what my revenge means. I always did. I don't make I don't make frivolous decisions. When I came to that decision, I was willing to live with the consequences. I knew what they were. It wasn't something that I was gonna back down on, but
Okay.
because I
All
didn't
right.
know that my mom could live.
Um, okay. Well, it's just not spreading misery is just makes the world a better place. So, now that we've decided that we're not going to, purposely die on one another without telling each other, Dolan, why so interested in Vecna?
I'm just curious as to why he revealed himself to Ilvin.
And why he didn't to you? You almost sound like you're a crushed fangirl.
I didn't say he didn't reveal himself to me.
Well then, you have some explaining to do.
I'd be curious.
Yeah.
Because I I want to think the best of people and I want to think the best of you, but nobody just walks away
Why?
from
Why not
him.
the third degree to Ilvin? He returned, so
Yeah, I
it's
know that's
possible he
coming.
made a
Believe
deal.
me, it's coming. It's coming. But you know what? You're a slippery, slippery, slippery fish, and I'm not feeling good about it. So I almost feel like we should search your entire person to see that no brand is on you that he might have put on you or some such. Because it's nobody escapes from him.
So,
He might let them think they did.
is this where we get him drunk and check him for tattoos?
Oh, no, 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 I don't care about getting him drunk, but I'm just wondering if something is not
So
right here.
you do remember that I was imprisoned and tortured for a bit, right?
Yes, and it wouldn't surprise me that, that was all part of it, ensuring you into whatever brainwashing thing.
It doesn't explain why I would have heard his voice across the veil of death. His voice got to be back here.
Mm,
It's because I heard you say something right before you died.
Ah.
okay.
I could say that out loud if you want everyone to know, but
I would rather you didn't.
All right. So, his voice guided you home. That's just
Away from Vecna.
away from Vecna.
And I am very grateful for it. And I would ask that you never say that word ever again. Please. I did what I
Um,
did to try to help Tam. I did what I did to try to put a stop to the undead. The fact that Vecna was there was not something I could account for. But I did what I did, and I have no regrets.
I'll only use it when you get all the good loot.
okay, well,
That's fair. Just keep in mind, out of character at least, I'm only a couple levels away from modify memory. That's all I'm saying.
so am I.
Just wait till I roll a 1 on portent. But no.
Mm, and I
He
cutting words
he's
with you.
definitely like a little apprehensive about this. But
Okay,
he can't really do much
so
about it, so
no regrets whatsoever. Not telling people what any of your suspicions or anything like that. No regrets at all. Wow, I can definitely tell you are the dark side of the bay.
not Faye at
Who?
all.
One of them.
Are you
No,
talking
but
about Ilvin or Ilvin?
at this point, she doesn't care who she's talking to. She is thinking out loud. Well, this is Just great. I am surrounded by darkness. Lovely, 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 lovely.
It took you
I'm
this long to
sure.
realize that?
I like to be an optimist. You should meet my grandfather.
What about Anton? He's a bundle of joy and love.
Lately, not so much.
I look out of the shelter and say, it actually looks quite sunny.
It's a desert.
Hmm.
Why is it I feel like I am in a dark pit in the sunny desert?
I can
Was there
dispel
a
the
window everywhere?
yeah. I can dispel the secure shelter or turn it transparent.
It would, it would make a difference.
Ilvin kind of
I don't understand you people. You're all so freaking secretive and unhelpful. Why? Even Tam, all of you. And it's dangerous.
how was I unhelpful?
Causing others to worry and freak out like that is not helpful. I mean, I was looking at this freaking scroll, which everybody says is not a thing, but it definitely is a thing. I was thinking about using it because I was so concerned that the only other person who seems to, be analytical and intrigued in some of the things that are happening, which I might be able to talk to on some level. No. That person is going to die, and then I'm going to be stranded here all by myself in the freaking prime material. No, I was completely frustrated and scared out of my mind.
Elvin walks over to Tamarine and he crouches down a little bit so he's on eye level with her. And he takes her little hand in his and he says, I promise that I will not do something like that again without telling you first.
Are you patronizing me?
I am not patronizing you.
Fine.
I won't do it again. I did not realize it would cause you any distress. I did not really think you would care. And as I said, I intended on coming back under my own power. I was essentially playing the card of this is not my fated time or place to die. I recently received a vision that I thought was from the Raven Queen of me standing at her right hand. I thought that that was what this was all leading toward. And it turned out that that message apparently came from another source.
Yeah, but that's a pretty pompous vision. I'm just going to say that right here, and now, and
Well,
maybe
I didn't get to choose the vision, unfortunately.
no, but you might should question it if some great entity's telling you you're going to be their right hand person. Just
It
saying.
didn't say I
Fine.
was the right hand person, but it did say that I was at their right hand. So I
Uh-huh.
thought that that meant I was to gain an audience.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Fine. I accept that. And for the record, I wasn't worried about you very much. I was slightly concerned.
I could tell. And I appreciate that slight concern very slightly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you trust this person pointing at Dolan?
No, not at all. But I
Okay.
have no choice.
What? I haven't done anything to you.
I know. That
You're
doesn't mean I
very
trust you.
suspicious.
But I don't have any choice but to deal with the matter until I have to deal with the matter. So, until then, Dolan, you and I shall be friends. And hopefully beyond.
Well, we can still get married if you want.
No, but I might ask permission to court Mira.
Where are you from again, Dolan?
Don't even joke about that.
No,
I
no,
get
no,
it, I get
really.
it. She's only 2 days old. I get it.
Well, no, she's not 2 days old. She wasn't. Well, this body, this.
I'm talking about Mira, the
Yeah,
elemental that we
I know,
created out of
I know.
nothingness.
But if anything, she's very, probably savvy. She's probably the most savvy person in the joint.
Oh yeah, she's the most savvy person in the joint who was in fact born yesterday.
Indeed.
Well, this
But
body or
didn't
appearance.
come into town on a turnip truck.
Okay, all right, okay. So, Dylan, where are you from? Because I know next to nothing about you. And at this stage in our uh, uh, acquaintanceship, I feel that I should know a bit more about you. Therefore, to inspire trust, tell me your life story.
That's not.
You cut out. What'd you say?
Oh,
Hello?
That's not good.
I heard a split syllable there for a second.
He really doesn't want to tell me. Or the audience.
So we're
You back?
That's better.
There you go.
I said it's gonna take a while. I'm almost 400 years old.
That's fine.
How about just the cliff notes?
Mm, do you have family?
Yes.
Do you have siblings?
Yes.
Are they still alive?
No clue.
Did you kill them?
No.
Okay. This form of questioning will go on for ages, but yeah, the more you tell Tamery, the more Tamery will trust.
I am from a noble family.
Are you
From an
from the
Elven city.
Prime?
Yes, a prime material Elven city.
Uh,
And before the Sundering, I spent my days as an archaeologist.
okay. All right. Continue. What did you find? What discoveries have you made?
Nothing special. Just a lot of failed attempts and empty tombs.
So you're bitter.
Well, people have been calling him Junior for 300 years, so that kind of gets to him.
I guess.
We named the dog Indiana.
Okay. So so you weren't always doing this.
No, I wasn't. I would. It's really only till since we first met up in the manor that
And
we burnt down that I started doing this.
okay. All right. Okay. All right. We will continue this further at a later date. I am content with the said information that has been brought. Uh,
Fantastic.
Right.
So where are we
yeah.
going?
Well, I mean, Tim's kind of. I don't. Something's not right with him.
Yeah, that is an issue.
I mean, I'm not the best at like doing that thing. Well, y'all probably didn't even know what I was trying to do. It really doesn't matter anyway. I just know that he is in a lot of uh turmoil.
Hmm.
You'd think he would be happy because he's gotten everything back, but once you get everything back, you worry about losing everything. So, mm, I don't know. I mean, really, Vecta's in charge of hell. Wizards can't seem to be resurrected. Gods are on vacation.
For the record, the Dark Gate doesn't necessarily just lead to hell. It's the place the souls pass through from the Veil to whatever afterlife they're meant to go to.
I thought they had to go to the River Styx.
If they're going to hell, yes.
Hmm. Hold on. So this is like a stopgap to go to any sort of afterlife, whether it be to another god or whatever?
Yeah, the Raven Queen watches over that gate, and she, every once in a while, claims one of the souls.
Okay, I can see why other gods would not be a fan or want to have them join their softball team.
You can also understand why her position is one that is coveted.
Not really.
And the idea of having someone like Vecna there is not a best case scenario.
Is there any god or anybody that would benefit from Vecna being there?
Besides Vecna? I mean, I don't know if he
Vecna.
has allies. Maybe demons. They might be like they might be into that.
Demons, huh?
He is a
Hmm.
touch more on the realm of chaos, I believe.
But he's
And
more
even if
organized.
we knew,
He's way more
was
organized than
is there
demons.
anything we would be able to do about it?
That's my point. Is like all of this is getting to be. I don't see how this all ties together, or where we go and what we do next. Because even if we do say free some people that were enslaved to the Legion of Salt, in the grand scheme of things, in the Prime, what does that do?
It
Especially if you have
stops
a
the
magic.
racial war against magic users and magical beings.
Right, but if certain magical users, like say wizards, are dying and can't be resurrected, we're on a losing footing anyway.
Which makes Elvin's situation interesting.
Indeed.
Because he was a wizard who died.
Mm-hmm. He didn't know the wizards couldn't come back though.
I'm pretty sure I've told you this several times. I've told everybody several times because I don't hide things.
Well, you never mentioned it to Elvin. I don't think Albrecht even knew about it.
I'm pretty sure I have said to most any and everybody to try and get people to be interested in this. But I mean,
Given that most people in the Prime aren't the arbiter of souls, there's not much they can do even if they were interested.
Elvin, you
So
think that maybe you know why wizards can't be resurrected anymore. Maybe if Vecna is literally consuming their souls,
that
out of
is
character. Sorry, go ahead.
that is a definite possibility. Hmm.
except isn't it the other thing?
Well, I know what it is out of character
Yeah, exactly.
for my game, but yeah, in character, like the evidence would kind of point toward Vecna being able to just pick and choose.
But that doesn't make sense. If he's supposed to be on the side of magic users, it would behoove him not to have wizards die and to be resurrected.
Vecna is
That
on
does,
Vecna's side. Vecna doesn't give a
yeah.
crap about other spellcasters except for what they can
Okay.
do for him.
Okay. All right.
Now that
So,
being said, as far as dealing with the Legion of Salt, it is a benefit because every single magic user or magical being that we manage to save or protect from the Legion of Salt is one that may be able to help resist Vecna whenever it comes to that point.
Which is what we originally came to this desert to do.
Exactly. Now, I would love nothing more than to go running back to the Shadowfell and hope that I could find my family alive and well and visit my dog and all that
is
sort of
that the
thing.
truth?
I would love to do that. However, there are a couple of issues. One, I don't know how to get back to the Shadowfell short of what I did earlier, and that did not go so well. And two, even if I did, I'm in the middle of a fucking desert. So, what I would like to do is complete our business here, and I'm going to watch for the opportunity to try to get back home.
You couldn't just go through Evernight.
Evernight's 1,000 miles away, maybe a little more.
Yeah, well, it's faster and more preferable than dying.
Yeah, it is, but I could also potentially find a portal someplace else, or perhaps learn the spells myself to be able to travel home.
We have yet
And
to
so
come
far
across
as doing
a
something about
portal.
Vecna being on the gate, I mean, all I could really say is that if Vecna is present at the gate, then he has a presence there. So it is possible that if one were wanting to try to actually attack him directly, that might be the place to do it. That being said, we would be vaporized. But depending
I
on
don't.
whether the Shatterkai, I mean, I don't know what's happened. I don't know if they've submitted to Vecna. I don't know if they're at war with Vecna. I don't know if they were all killed. I have no idea.
This just makes me wonder, are gods so fragile they can't deal with Vecna?
You say it like gods haven't been killed before.
Vecna is a god. Make no mistake. I understand that he looks like a lich, but he is a god.
Well, I just can't believe that a group of gods couldn't get together and come up with a plan and deal with it.
If it worked like that, then gods would be killed all the time from groups of gods ganging up on them. There's a
Which, to
reason
be
why
fair,
they
is
have.
kind of what happens.
Well, to an extent, but it doesn't happen all the
Have you not
time.
heard of Telm or
Oh,
Torelm?
don't
I'm
get
not
me
sure how they
started
want.
on that
Yeah.
nonsense.
So you learned about it in school too.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay, so we did have some of the same books. Uh, right. Well,
Issues of existentialism aside, we came here to complete a task. We also have an oasis to check out and a family to look after.
check that. You have a family to look after.
I have a family to look after.
Really?
She is my daughter.
I want
At
to
that
name
moment,
that.
at that exact moment, you guys hear a watery voice start to scream. And you guys can all look over, and you see Mira specifically with her arms outstretched and her legs outstretched, almost like she's being pulled in every direction. She's floating off of the ground. Light is coming out of her eyes, and she seems to be bubbling on all around her edges. What do you guys do?
Throw
Uh,
dispel magic.
I. Okay, yeah.
Um, yeah, why don't you? And how does that work for spells that are higher than? And what spell level are you casting it at?
I'm casting it at
4.
third, but I'm going to go ahead and use my natural 20 from Portent.
I'll.
Nice. Okay.
So
If
that
not, I'll
will,
do 1 at 4. I'll get 1 foot. You get the other.
but that will automatically dispel anything, pretty much. I mean, like a direct god, like saying "I smash you," that probably wouldn't work. But by the actual technicalities of the rules, that would mean that I dispelled up to 14th level magic.
That would kill her. You would know this. So you can do that if
Well,
you
I'm
would like.
targeting the magical effect that's on her. I'm not targeting her.
Can you choose specific effects?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll link you the spell.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's like you see certain. If you want us to do a detect magic on top of that to be able to see the type of magic where it is, we could do that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're choosing one magical effect to dispel.
Right. So it's like we do detect magic. You see the effect around her, the lighting up, which isn't normally there, and you ping that.
Yeah, I'll actually, if it's cool, I'll go ahead and burn both spell slots. The third
I
and the
can pick
first for
one.
detect magic.
Okay, so you quickly detect magic, and um, I want to say that. Fuck. I want to say that you see illusion magic
Mhm.
that is like her mouth is gaping open as she's screaming. This white light is pouring out of her mouth and her eyes. You feel like something is trying to fill her up, and you actually, with your detect magic, you notice a faint line, maybe a gleaming like string, almost imperceptible, of magic that's attached to her forehead between her eyes, just up a little bit. And as you cast a spell magic, the line fizzles and the light goes away, and she drops to the ground completely fine, breathed or winded, but completely fine.
What was that?
It's a real good question. I was worried about letting it go on too long. You might want
Something
to
like
check
that
her
kind of
dolls.
reminds me of Mr. Pips.
As she gets her breath, she kind of looks up and says, I don't know who or how, but something was trying to make contact. Something reached in and grabbed a part of me that I don't even know how to explain it. I have to
Did
think.
it get taken? Did it take
No,
it?
I'm all still here.
What if it was knowledge? You know, that might be harder to detect if you're missing knowledge.
Maybe I don't feel that I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how
Yeah,
to.
you wouldn't. That's my point.
Ilvin Ilvin walks over to Dolan and says quietly, "She was born of a pool dedicated to Vecna. It's quite possible he might have been trying to reclaim what's his."
Maybe. Do we still have the ring of mind shielding?
You want to intensify that, link by putting on a ring of Vecna.
It would if it would work, then it would block the link.
Yep.
Yeah, except it wouldn't because it has freaking Vecna on it.
And as Mira hears you guys saying these things, she says, I was never dedicated to Vecna. A Vecna. Wow. Vecna appropriated our culture.
Oh,
Not
I
what
see.
Vecna's ideas were based off of.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. I
but
thought
see,
the
it's
pool was
not your
consecrated
culture.
too.
Yeah,
No.
but you see, it's not your symbol that's coming up here. It's Vecna's. So unless this was your symbol before it was Vecna's, I don't feel comfortable with it.
The only thing from the temple that was related to Vecna is the Eye of Vecna.
The
The
shield.
rest of the items
Yeah.
weren't didn't have any symbols connected to Vecna.
Hmm.
Yeah, but all this crap does have symbols related to him.
Only the shield does.
Yeah, only the shield.
Um,
The rest of
I
the
thought the
items,
ring did,
Hmm.
no.
Nope.
but I remember feeling like everything was connected.
Yeah,
Everything
we
was
thought that they
connected.
were, but the only things that were connected formed the shield.
Yeah, but there were four shields, but didn't the shields make up this?
No,
The shield,
they coalesced to create the final Eye of Vecna shield. The armor and the other things were separate items. They
Yep.
were not the metal shards, quote unquote.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part at the time because I assumed that it was all one collection.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's worth a try. I don't have
Well,
any
I
other
would,
options or
I would ask
ideas.
her. I would ask her. I wouldn't just pop anything on to her. Just, do you want
Well,
to wear it?
it would protect me from whatever that was, but I also kind of feel like the connection's not there, but I could maybe reform it, and it might be dangerous, but maybe I could try to trace it back to its
No,
source.
no, no, not doing that. No, that's what it wants you to
maybe,
do.
yeah, maybe at later time.
Okay, well, yeah, I'd be wearing to will the wow. I would be willing to wear the ring. It would probably keep that from happening.
Yeah, I just don't want you getting torn apart by something.
Yeah, that was kind of scary.
It didn't look gentle.
No. Okay. All right, she wants to wear it.
And
Fine.
Ariel kind of looks over at you guys, is like, does this kind of shit happen a lot?
All the time.
Oh,
Just
Every day. This is for breakfast.
yeah, when you're in the city, don't say Vecna's name more than 3 times.
Stop saying his name.
I go back in the teepee. I'm like so much of this day. No.
so yes, you guys have a family to decide about, a uh, a pool of water, an oasis or whatever it's called, to investigate, as well as supposedly a Saltine fort somewhere out here.
Well, we don't know for sure that we've gotten rid of all the Legion inside that town, do we?
Oh, we know for a fact we haven't.
Then that. That oasis isn't going anywhere. The
Well,
Legion has.
the Oasis was so the problem with the Oasis is that unless it's dealt with at the source, then the water
I'm
or no no
aware.
did I'm blanking here. Did the thing that Anton made actually deal with the fact that the stuff coming in was polluted?
No,
What he
it did the
did
temple.
what he did was create a water filtration system at the source in the city, and blessed it. So essentially, what it does is it filters any kind of debris or large stuff, the normal stuff. It also the water is constantly blessed. Any water that touches that is constantly blessed. However, as you're not sure about the source of the sickening waters, you're not sure if that deals with the problem or not.
I mean, I'm not saying we don't deal with the thing, but I would like to get all the rats out of that city. So I could go and have this assurance that while I'm dealing with this oasis, that the Legion of Salt isn't moving in more.
So you want to take the few out of the city before moving on the encampment?
Yeah, the oasis. Yeah.
All right.
And that'll actually give Tam a chance to actually get his family someplace relatively safe.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's not completely opposed to that.
But let's move with purpose.
With purpose do we move?
I'm not. And Ariel speaks up and she says, "I'm not sure Mom is in a state where she can help with something like this, and I need to watch over her. I'm not really sure where to take us right now while you guys investigate these things.
You don't have a place where you were staying?
No, we lost that.
So in all the time that you've been out here, you've not made a place to do what you do?
I never stay in any place too long.
I believe if we went back to the city now, they would allow you in, and if they didn't, then I will drown them all.
Could we
Really?
please stop
I
the
stab him in
violence?
the face first.
Could we all try and pretend we're semi-civilized, or is this just a
I was
crime?
kidding, like 40%.
We
I
need
was
the
entirely serious.
yeah, we need the Legion of Salt witch trials first.
Also, if we take them back to the city, then Lana can help potentially
Yeah,
help
but
see
the
after
thing
them.
is your daughter hates that place with a passion. I
Well,
don't think.
she
She
has the
gave
reason
me
why
her
she hated it
word
back.
that she would not harm the city, and she has my wife to look after.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be okay in there, or is it gonna like bug you every waking moment? Being
Yes.
no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking to her.
My mother matters more to me.
Okay, all right. Okay, fine. We'll go back and deal with the salt that's spilt.
Flick some over your shoulder.
So you guys can tentatively move back towards the city. It's not too far out.
Yeah.
You notice some of the guards on the wall are kind of nervous, and of course, uh, Lana, or sorry, not Lana, but Sullivan and Inariel are both very nervous about the situation. But Lana greets you guys at the gate, and she ushers you guys in, and over the course of a few minutes, explains that while the city is in a shaky state, um, what your guys' actions have accomplished is essentially making her voice the loudest and the most authoritative in the city, dealing with her biggest opposition being the guard captain, and he's now dead. She pretty much runs the place. It's a little shaky because it's a new change and people are still worried about supplies, but she can tell you that you guys are always welcome here.
Who
Does
is not talk?
anybody in town actually know that Guard Captain McAsshole is dead? Because he just went down the hole and never came back.
Yes, she has basically held a town meeting while in your guys' absence overnight while you guys were out here in the desert. She held a town meeting and basically everybody kind of talked everything out and people voted her in as the city's mayor, if you will, because
Who
she was the one who
didn't?
was always taking care of her.
Unfortunate. Did the two or however many guard people that they had identified with searching the guard captain's room, are they sticking around or did they run for the hills?
You can uh, I want to say that you don't see them now, but if you ask her about them
Yeah.
by name, she will say, as far as I'm aware, they're still in town.
Okay.
Then we need to get the guard together.
Yeah, we do. We do. Go over their strategies and all that jazz up to code.
She says, I trust you guys, and I can probably arrange to have everybody meet us at the barracks in a couple of hours if you would like.
Do that. Tell them there will be cookies.
Is there something I should know?
Just we hope to get rid of any uncontaminate element.
The former captain had associates.
Mhm. Mhm. And they don't really want y'all to have as many options as y'all should have.
This is good. I've been meaning to clean house, but I wasn't really sure how to go about it. I feel like there are probably still a couple of supporters of the guard captain, and it may seem maniacal, but taking out the opposition gives me free reign.
She went Machiavellian quickly.
Yeah, she did. I mean, I
She says,
fought
"I'm
in
sorry."
the corner.
She says, "I'm sorry for being so brash. I'm just trying to cope with everything that's happened, and these people need me more than I need myself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
So I need to be the right person for them before I can deal with this."
okay.
They seem like they
Uh,
need guidance. It's fine.
yeah, they do. Chairman Lana. Uh,
No, I'm suddenly flashing back to Thor Ragnarok and the
yeah.
when Loki finds all of the escape, he's like, "You all look like you're in desperate need of leadership."
Yeah. Yeah, that was cute. Okay, so how quickly do you think we could get? I mean,
I could wrap all the guards up, get us all at the barracks, a couple hours.
okay. Um,
I assume you guys intend to address the problems that we have, mainly the Oasis.
yeah, just right after we get rid of this, because these things, if they get word back to, which they may already have, they're going to move in, and more trouble will come. We're banking that these guys might not move unless told to. So we're kind of hoping that maybe it has died, because they would have been grunts taking orders rather than being two self-starters. Let's just hope that they're not little self-starters.
You're not making a whole lot of sense, but I can definitely get everybody to meet
Thank
up with us in a
you.
couple hours.
Thank you. When somebody else feels like they could do a better job of explaining in a roundabout way, do it.
So unless there's anything else that you need from me, I'm a little bit busy, but I will have everybody meet us up in a couple hours.
Okay, alrighty.
Is there a
Thank you.
house?
Yeah, in the meantime, we have some guests that need lodging.
Right. You can take them back to my house. Not, I guess it's not Michael's anymore. You can take it back. You can take them back there. The place is plenty of room for all of you.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. This away. In Lana's Imperial Palace, her Imperial Fortress of Solitude, where she plans on becoming the ruler of all Syria or whatever.
That's Queen Lana to you, scum. No, she doesn't say that.
The balcony overlooks the missile silos out back quite nicely.
It is Empress Lana.
So you guys have a couple hours to kill. You guys remember how to get back to Michael's house. Let me actually throw up the city map for you guys.
Dolan will go to the workshop and collect his little statuette if it's completed.
Yeah.
Nice. The guy definitely remembers you. I remember you asking for this. Can you remind me of what it's a statuette of?
So it's a little pretty much Loki look-alike, but it's to Momo.
Uncle Momo. Which form? Because he has many forms. Which form did you go?
Yeah, the Loki. It's a Loki look-alike with the horns and the tuxedo.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he would be pleased with this.
He absolutely offers it to you. Did you pay him already?
Think
I'm gonna just trust whatever you say. It doesn't make a big difference.
Join the cult of Momo.
I'll give him 2 gold. I think I gave him an extra 2 gold for making it fast, so I'll give him 2 extra gold.
Nice. Okay. He says it was a pleasure doing business with you.
Uh,
You fine gentleman, kind sir.
do you have any paint I could use as well?
Yes, and they're only 50 silver a can. He smiles real big.
I muscle it and go. Have those been approved by the FDA and all the other licensors?
Why are you
Are they
going
safe
on?
for children?
Yes.
Really? So if I dump some of this into a kid's mouth, they will not perish?
What? Why would you do that?
It's just children get into things, have to take responsibility. You are 100% confident that this stuff is worthy of being sold at that said price.
Lady, if you want to buy something, then buy something.
You know what?
If you're just gonna cause a ruckus, you know where the door is.
I do, and what a fine door it is indeed. Bye!
Have a nice day.
I'm smoking my pipe, standing outside, going, that invisible hand of trade really flipped you off there, didn't it?
If you want a response, I don't have one for you. I was mostly a mute myself.
Is there anything else I can get you, kind, beautiful, young, powerful, rich sir?
Unless you have a few magic items, no.
Fortunately, I don't have anything, but you could sell me something and I could sell it back to you. Look, discount on raised prices, of course.
Well,
I've got to make a profit.
what's the biggest thing you can make?
Probably over the course of a week or two, I could probably sculpt a life-size statue.
We still have the cart, don't we?
Nope.
No, the cart was
No?
just
Yep. It got messed up.
Yep.
It's sitting outside out in the middle of the desert someplace.
Probably claimed by the desert by now. It's probably under a huge sand dune. I hate the desert. But we have
So
the
you made a
horsies
cart?
still.
I'm no engineer, sir. I'm just a lowly arts and craftsman.
Hmm.
Well, no more use for you then, and I'll leave.
Thank you for your money.
If you want a
I
car,
saved your life.
so what did you get? What did you get? What did you need paint for?
This.
I love painting. Oh.
Thank you.
Timry, you swear it just winked at you.
Okay, he has a couple more horns than that, and they're a little bit bigger, and they've got like golden rings around them, and also it has also these chains, golden chains going from them, and it's just not gaudy enough. Here, let me.
No, you can design the next one, okay?
Well, this one is all right. It just needs to be improved.
I like it how it is.
It's very understated. It's like,
A little bit.
you know, he can do business, but he's here to party.
No, it's just that's just how he wakes up. That's just he wakes up with all that on. He sleeps with all that on. Actually, he doesn't sleep very much.
I love that the one who is grilling Dolan the hardest about Vecna this, Vecna that, is the one who is the die-hard freaking loyalist to the Momo, an archdevil.
What's
He's a necessary evil.
I bet that's what they all say.
That is what they all say. Except I do know that he's a necessary evil.
Who says Vector's not a necessary evil?
No, he's not.
Vecna's a self-created evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He wasn't created by circumstance. He was created by his own blood, sweat, and the other blood from other people that he killed.
In a way, I can kind of appreciate his work ethic, as I can Uncle most. But still, Vecna's just a bit too spontaneous and domineering and imposing, and there are some fake qualities now that I think of it.
Is there anything you guys would like to do before the meeting?
Miniature paint time?
I can't think of anything. I'm just gonna.
Well, if I
wait.
still got a bit more time before the meeting, I will start painting the shield, changing the symbol to look more like Ilmata.
Cool. Well, I won't make you roll for it. Every time you paint directly over the symbol, it sears off, reveals the symbol. The
Well,
entire rest of the shield can be painted.
Ilvin, can you make this paint magical?
With a little bit of time and stuff, baby.
Wait, aren't you magical too? Can't you do that?
Yeah, can't you do that?
Yeah, but that's just work.
So you want to give us your freaking grunt work? I don't think so, you privileged elf.
Ooh, burn.
Why would you use two synonyms in the same sentence? Of course we're privileged, we're elves. I'm going to go to the meeting place about 20 minutes early, and I'm basically going to set myself up a little spot where I can sit on the floor, kind of in the back corner of the room, and be out of sight. You know, just kind of move things around a little bit to just give myself a bit of a block.
So the meeting is taking place here where the big barracks thing is, and it's inside those lower walls, but it's actually going to be held in the courtyard there.
Okay,
You can still do what you wanted to do, it just won't be inside of the building.
that's fine. Up on the roof would be fine. It's just in case things go horribly wrong.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
Well, to be up high because it's easier to cast firebolt from high. Not that I want to do that. I hope I don't have to do that. Please don't make me do that.
I cast firebolt.
Oh well, if I don't, he will. So same difference.
So you can definitely get there in time, and I will share that map, the barracks map. I'm sure it's not exact. Ah, awesome. This is preloaded too.
Nice.
So anybody who would like to go to the barracks now, I will drop onto the map.
I suppose I will. What's Zelda gonna do?
I have to bring you from the comment tracker. Hold on.
Probably get
Zelda-
kidnapped by Ganondorf again.
No, Zelda is staying with Sullivan and Inario and trying to take care of them.
Oh, really? Interesting. I'm surprised. Okay. I would have thought that if there were any salt to be routed out, she'd be on that.
What the heck?
You don't have a grid on this map?
It looks like there are grids, but
Yeah, it's a pre-drawn grid though. If it's part of the image, it doesn't count. You have to actually make
well,
the grid.
can't we just move with the grid that's already pre-drawn?
It's not going to lock in though.
Oh.
I mean, as much as I kind of enjoyed the 400-foot tall Ilvin,
That makes you
That's how Ilvin sees himself.
right. Yeah, it is.
There, that should work. It's annoying, but I don't care.
It's fine.
So I'm just going to place all of you guys here. Tam, are you going to attend this meeting?
yes, because some people need a murdering.
Possibly.
No, there's no possible here. There's going to be some murdering.
Okay, you guys can place yourself wherever you want to, as you guys are getting here a little bit earlier than almost everybody. Lana is here as well.
So what Tam is going to do is actually he's going to duck into the wherever the
Well, this is
cafeteria
outside.
is. He's going to basically put 2 packs of food together with a couple of canteens, and he's going to using his 2 doses from his. Let me pull it up here.
Your hyper dehydration poison.
Yes, the really really evil one, not just the pasted shrimps, the one that will actually kill you. And he's going to dose both packs.
Okay. I will say that you don't have to roll for that. Deviously, as you dose them, you see the liquid almost appears to disappear, and you yourself cannot detect it.
Almost as though this was designed to do this.
Yes.
Weird.
Given what he paid for it, it better damn well.
This is the good stuff. Spare no expense for death.
At this point, you can see people start to milling in, most of them wearing guard uniforms, a couple of them wearing civilian outfits.
Did Ted come in? The marksman Ted shot the bow, the arrow that got rid of the dead when we first came.
Yeah, Ted does eventually come in.
I wave at Ted. I like Ted. Ted's
He waves
Ted's
back at you, kind of smiles.
yeah, the youth of the future.
He is the legionist of Legion.
Oh, shut up. He is the hope of this.
The last hope of the Legion.
Oh, shut up. Don't listen to him, DM.
So
In Vecta's name we pray.
As people kind of slow down with the milling, you figure most of the people are probably here. Lana speaks up over the crowd and says something that I haven't planned out. So something along the lines of, "You're all probably wondering why I've gathered you here, and I'm sure some of you are tense given the recent situations. I want to point out my concern is the people, meaning you guys and everyone else in the city. I'm not interested in power plays or um, outward politics, any of that. I just want to see all of us survive. That being said, there are some situations that need to be addressed as soon as possible. I'm sure you're all aware that the water situation is one of our biggest problems. Recently, and you guys can, make checks to kind of see if you can spot your guys or to set something up. Like, what do you
Yeah,
guys want to
I
do?
was wondering if while they're all gathered there, if there's anything in the barracks, literature to anyone specific in the barracks that would incriminate them as being Legion.
All of that content has been found already.
It all has been found, so do we know exactly who's who then?
You have names.
Okay, we have names.
Names that Tam can completely make up because he's the one who found the content, and I didn't name them.
Yeah, I don't think we really went too deep into how
Okay.
many there were, who they were, but there were a few, and we know who they are. Is the kind of the bottom line here.
Okay, so now that they're here, then, because there's no easy way, because, I mean, they're probably liked. They're probably liked, their friends may not even know that they're doing this, but at the same time, if we just straight up murderize them in front of their friends aren't going to like that, even if it is explained to them that they were basically going to do stuff that would not be helpful to your city's future.
So stepping out of character here for a second.
Yeah.
Tam's plan, and it may start making sense with what he just did, is he's here to get them exiled and then say, get the fuck out, here's your food, it's enough to get you Superior. Have fun.
Yeah, but what charges are you gonna bring them out on?
So with the documents, they have these guys basically dead to rights and selling the town out to the Legion.
Yeah, but what if the Legion isn't very far and they don't even have to eat the food?
They're going to be dead in 24 hours.
Yeah. How about this? All right. For excellence in their position and their work ethic.
These are things that you're actually hearing Lana say right now. She starts
Yeah.
calling out names.
Yeah. There are a few that are exemplary. The fellas that we want, it will be those.
You hear Ted's name spoken, and he stands and walks over and stands beside her at attention.
Oh,
A couple of
that
other
kills me.
gentlemen.
That's mean. Why? Why
Actually,
DM?
so Ted and one other random guard has to make a 16 DC Wisdom saving throw.
What?
What?
A Wisdom saving throw of 16.
Sorry, I mean, like, what is the spell you're trying to use?
Suggestion.
Okay. Give me just a sec. I'll just roll 2d20s. Neither of them succeed their saving throw. What is
So
your spell?
I say, Ted and other person,
The person.
please tell us and point out the other collaborators of the Legion of Salt in the guard here.
They both look at you fucking bewildered. Lana says, is there anything else that you would like to interrupt? And at that very moment, two people in the background, two sets of armor that you guys hadn't noticed yet, start bolting for the door. What do you guys do?
I had intel.
What?
Why don't you guys roll me initiative, and I will set this up.
Why? Oh, God. Really? You didn't have all the names?
We have all the names. We know who all of them are.
I was gonna hope that be like, well, we're gonna, with you guys that have done such an exemplary job, the rest of you may take the afternoon off. However, those who are just such self-starters, we would like to speak with and hash some things out, thus removing their friends who are not accomplice to it, that aren't going to try and protect them. God.
So, Tam, you specifically know that Ted was not one of your names. You also know that the other two men who were called up to stand next to her were not either of your names.
Yeah, so she was leading off the good guys, and she was going to drop the bad guys on them to piss everybody off and turn them against them.
Yes, but nobody talked about a plan. You guys all just started executing a plan.
Well, two of us kind of started sitting there letting things play out, and then somebody cast a spell.
Well,
Yeah.
what I understood was that Ted and the other person were the names on the list.
Which
No.
is entirely incorrect.
I know that now.
Well, good. I
Don't place these guys on the map.
Two. I kind of thought Ted was two. I thought that, like, nah. But I wasn't ready to spell on it until maybe they're gone. Because they're gonna be like, what the frick? They're not gonna understand.
So these are the two guys, and the gritting really annoys me.
It is kind of like confusing. Like, where are the squads?
Yeah, let me try to kind of regrid this maybe. But in the meantime, these are the two guys that you see get up and start bolting. And Lana curses under her breath, just passively says, "You guys, I had a plan." And you guys are all like, "Lana, we had a plan."
I think we're all just yelling at Dolan right now.
Well, Dolan wasn't the only one who started to enact a plan. Tamery was too.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, this is not perfect, and it's going to annoy the crap out of me.
It's better, it kind of, and so just, we won't move
I'm
too far
gonna-
from the center.
I'm going to let you guys take your turn first. I will say that they end their turn there, and we're going to start our initiative with Tam.
Okay, so where is the exit that they are trying to get to?
It is that there. And we go. Okay.
I
Okay.
rolled a 7. I'm so lucky. What? It's nice to roll 7s.
I like 20s.
Well, yeah, but we all like 20s.
Okay,
Unless
so
you're
let me know
playing.
when you have the grid back on. 'Cause I'm trying to do movement math here.
This is really touchy and annoying. That's probably as good as it's gonna get.
That's
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, if you zoom out, you can't really even tell.
All right. So using 20 feet of movement, Tam is going to get to there.
Okay.
He is going to take a swing at this guy. I'm readjusting dice here, so give me 1 second. Okay. So targeted. And we are. I
Are
was
you going?
using Spellblade this.
Are you going for lethal or non-lethal damage?
How would we ever trust their word? Could we? Is that something that? Because I'm guessing we would decide before whether if they do submit, if can we believe that?
So at this point, Tam's going for. He's not being gentle with him.
Okay.
Okay.
And then let me put Spellblade on this. And then he's going to spend 1 key point to disengage. And he's going to just plant himself in front of that door.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Nope.
At the end of your turn, immediately every single guard in the area stands up and pulls out their weapon, and is looking directly at you, Tam, because you just attacked one of their own, and they don't understand why. So if there's okay, there we go. Ilvin, you notice things are getting kind of out of hand pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Ilvin walks over to the edge of the roof here, and I am going to target the fellow that has not been wounded yet, so knight number 6. Let me make sure I've got my range correct. Okay. 30 feet. Alright, so I'm going to
I want to
teleport.
cutting words him as well
1,
because
2,
if he's
3, 4,
Legion, he
5,
probably has
6.
special stuff under his shit.
So I do my creepy Shatterkai ghost step thing from the roof to the top of this little low wall. And I'm going to look at knight number 6. And I say, why don't you explain to your compatriots how you sold out this city to the Legion of Salt without them being aware of it? And I'm casting Suggestion.
Nice. GC.
15.
And cutting words does.
Yeah, I'll tell you. 1.
Ugh.
Darn.
Okay, so 1 less.
Yeah. If he rolls real good, I can give him an 11, but
He just barely makes it. He rolled a 16.
I'm going to go ahead and give him an 11
Making it
Okay.
a 10.
with my other
He
proton.
absolutely fails and drops his weapon and his shield, and he begins, shaking and convulsing, and then almost as if he's vomiting out the words, he starts to divulge their their collusion with the Legion of Salt in pretty great damn detail. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Um, Let me see how smug I look.
Oh, God.
Not very smug.
So the way I handle this kind of a situation is that basically the NPCs who are not in the combat tracker get kind of a legendary action. They take their action at the end of everybody's actions. And right now, all of the guards are kind of dumbfounded, just frozen, listening to their fellow guard confess. What do you do, Tamery?
Okay. What is the punishment for treason?
One of the guards speaks up and says, "Death." But Lana says, "No, we are not the same monsters that they are. We have to conduct things better than they did." What do you do, Henry?
I only came here to aid and to see that y'all can live as you please. I leave to you the decision. I mean, if they're God, if they're not going, I might do. Do I have hold thing? Just I will probably do a Fey step right behind them. You know, just like little chick's gonna impose. Yeah, you're not getting past me.
People in this town are fairly afraid of magic.
Yeah.
And when you guys teleport around and shit,
Yeah.
people kind of get scared.
It's okay. I can teach you how to do it. It's just like, you know, it's, I at least let them make their decisions.
Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Does anybody want inspired? Real quick. Anybody.
I could use one.
You terrify me. I don't think I want to give it to you. Jeremy!
I could use a hug. That'll last him good.
God, Tam could use a hug.
Okay.
I go hug Tam.
Oh God. Okay. I'm moving my turn on. God.
At the end of your turn, basically, Lana shouts out over the crowd and says, "I am the appointed leader here, and as such, I will speak for the people. We will not murder these traitors. Instead, I move that we banish them. We give them some supplies to last, and we do what they did, without the murder parts, to other innocents." What do you do, Dolan?
As Dolan likes to escalate things up to the maximum.
Oh God. I incapacitate Dolan on my turn now.
He will polymorph into a T-Rex.
Can you even polymorph into a T-Rex?
I can polymorph up to challenge rating up to my level. So, and a T-Rex is challenge rating 8, and I'm level 8.
Why would you do that?
Let me pull up the creature stat blocks. Give me a second.
Why would you do that?
And can you link polymorph? Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting what we want pretty much.
Well, it's the ultimate intimidation.
You're intimidating the wrong people. We don't want them to dislike magic. They're kind of thing. If the DM said that just me doing a face step and moving 30 feet is weird to them, why?
Well, yeah. You absolutely turn into a T-Rex.
I dispel his. I counterspell him. I counterspell it.
Do you?
Yes, I do, because that is insane.
Is there a DC to counterspell? I think there's a DC.
What level are you doing it at?
It's level 4 spell, so it would be DC 14 on a charisma check. Straight charisma check, not performance or anything. Charisma.
Yeah. So do I roll on? It's been a long time since I did a counter spell.
You just roll a charisma check.
Okay. Charisma. No.
No.
your counter spell fizzles, and
And with it, the hope of this nation.
I would like to light a flare, wave it in the air to get the T Rex's attention, and then run and hide in a restroom.
Yeah.
I just stand over the two guards, drooling on top of them.
I'm gonna move you to the side, and I will let you. Um, I will link you the stat block and let you control the T Rex.
I walk away, pinching like the bridge of my nose and my forehead.
Can you
Just
please hotkey the stat block onto one of your hotkeys down below and let me know when you've done so?
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome, thank you.
My favorite thing
Okay.
about the T Rex token is that it's not just the T Rex; it's two T Rexes.
two T-Rexes. It's like a Hydra T-Rex
It's two T Rexes, a Stegosaurus, and a
and
pterodactyl.
yeah.
Would that make it a Byrannosaurus Rex?
I
I think it makes it a
It's a
dinosaur posse.
Qantas. Yeah, it's a that should be a name of a band. We're a dinosaur posse.
I feel like we now have to use that for Retroverse.
You move
God.
some people to the side. Some people go sailing to the side as you grow, and guards start yelling out. People brandish their spears towards you. Somebody says something about Formation Delta Axle 4-5.
They have maneuvers.
Somebody says kill it with fire. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I second the motion to kill it with fire.
I'm just trying to intimidate the two guards that, well, knights that were mainly attacking.
You have intimidated everyone.
Yeah.
So you end your turn? Okay, Anton, your friend Dolan just turned into a massive creature you've never seen before. Kind of, it looks a little bit like Spike, but very different. Spike being the mount that
Lagar.
Lagar.
Lagar. Poor.
I was like, no, Lockhead is his brother.
Yeah. Lagar. I miss Lagar.
So
Are we killing these guys?
what?
We know we're supposed to let them go into the desert. Tam has prepared some lovely food for them to eat that will kill them.
Interestingly, for the most part, except for the killing food, Lana's plans and Tam's plans were pre-aligned without ever talking to each other.
I wanna ride the T-Rex.
Okay.
Give me an athletics check to climb up the creature.
Can I use my tail to assist him?
Yes, you may.
God, you might
That
have.
will give him advantage. You can roll again.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, because it was advantage, then you don't take the one. You just don't get very far.
Yeah,
It's
you're just
huge and
like,
squirming.
yeah. You're like a T-Rex skin is slipperier than I thought.
At the end of your turn, Lana says, "Rally, men, rally! Get on your feet!" And the people are very angrily assorting themselves around you, you being Dolan. I will say at this point, this guy who has been attacked and seen a T-Rex, he's. Why don't you roll me an intimidation check, Dolan? Oh my god!
Uh,
So both of these men drop their weapons, drop onto their asses, and scooch flush against the wall, trying to get as far away from you as possible.
I move my head down and just sniff them.
They piss themselves.
Oh God.
Damn.
Well, you got to smell it.
Tam's
Let's
gonna
eat.
hold his position.
At the end of your turn, Tam, I will say that some of the men are questioning: Do we attack? Do we attack? Do we kill it? They're pretty confused. Ilvin, what do you do?
I'd sit down to watch this.
Yeah, I am. I'm just leaning up against the wall, looking at Tam like,
Okay, so the two of you don't do anything to intervene in the situation?
No,
Just
not currently. I'm not sure
no.
what Dolan's thought process is with his polymorph,
What?
so I'm really curious to
Yeah,
see.
yeah. You gonna? I'm gonna say, Dolan, are you gonna escort him out of the city?
Dolan can't speak.
I know, but I can. I can understand.
I roar. One for yes, two for no.
I interpret that. I tell them, yeah, he will, go with them out of the city just to make sure that they don't try to, hide in anyone's homes or anything like that. I'm trying to salvage this.
So, is there anything action-y wise that you do, Timry?
No.
Then,
None.
at the end of your turn, I need you with the creature's stats. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw as a volley of arrows come flying at you.
Me?
No, not you. Sorry, the T-Rex.
Okay.
I need you to beat because you're kind of surrounded right now, and they all have advantage. I need you to beat a 16.
Oh, God.
Okay, you definitely don't beat a 16. Those are D10s. I'm going to bring them down to D8s, but you're gonna get a lot of them.
I'm gonna pretend like they wanted to shoot their friends instead of us, because they just totally ignored what I said, but that's fine.
Does the T-Rex, while you're looking at its stat block, does it get resistance to piercing damage?
No.
Okay, then you immediately take 39 piercing damage.
Let's see if I can do a con save. No. The T-Rex form drops.
So all of these arrows start like tinking as all of them drop immediately to the ground as this form disappears almost in like a Naruto-esque cloud of smoke. When it clears, you see Dolan trying to avoid being hit by one of these arrows.
Does Anton fall off the tail that disappears?
He never got any elevation.
Oh, okay. Because that would have been funny. But no.
So it is your turn, and you have been shot at. You are no longer a T-Rex. What do you do, my friend?
Use
I
your
turn
fortune.
around to look at the guards and say, "Good job. Good. Courage there. Good courage."
Roll me a deception check.
Oh, God.
Not a performance.
You are truly ready to protect this town from any eventuality,
Yeah.
including sudden T-Rex.
Yeah, I'm just
Oh
like
God.
looking at Ilvin going,
Oh my god. One of the guards shouts out, "He summoned that thing with his wicked black magics!"
Oh no.
Can I tell specifically which person said that?
Someone behind you who is not on the map, but if you would like to
are
attack
they
them,
on the list?
they are not on the list.
Okay.
But he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
I make a minor illusion of a flower and hold it out.
See, I'm home. I'm harmless, flower. Somehow that translates into I am good. Please don't kill me.
I'm picturing Dolan just taking the flower and like balancing it on the end of one of the knight's crossbows.
Yeah.
So if you're done with, thank you. Before Anton's turn happens, all of these guys level their crossbows at Dolan, and they look very, very angry. You're making a good case for the salt right now,
You are.
Anton. What do you do?
So, how many like actual hostile things are around me?
Right now, no one's hostile to you specifically, except for the two guards on the map. But I want to say that there's somewhere around 20, maybe more guards around you guys. As far as you're concerned, when they saw you trying to climb it, they thought you were on their side, so nobody's looking at you right now.
Yeah. Can we just respect the laws of the land as they are? Why are we making this difficult?
Every time I put you guys into a city, you kill everything.
We aren't making this difficult.
No.
Yes, you are. Dolan turned into a fucking T-Rex.
I once again want to point out that I am not Dolan.
Yeah, I am not Dolan as well.
Yeah, but from the guards' perspective, you guys came here together. So far, nobody's leveled any weapons at anyone but Dolan.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So do you do nothing with your turn, Anton?
I mean, there's nothing to do. Like, nobody else wants to fight, so I'm not gonna.
who do you want to fight, Anton?
I mean, I would just kill my way out of this situation. These people suck. Fuck this town, dude. Every town we go to is just full of shitheads. I hate everybody on this fucking planet.
He turned into a T-Rex, and these people were not exposed to magic in their entire lives before Michael came around.
They're small-minded.
Yeah,
They're
I'm with
isolated.
Dolan.
They're
dummies.
isolated. But if we have
Whatever
an
desert
opportunity-
hillbillies are called, desert billies, I guess.
So
Honestly, I gotta say, I really, really relate to the, Dolan shows up and I want to shoot him in the face feeling.
Let's not try and throw away an opportunity. This is a huge stopgap on the King's Highway or whatever it's called.
Yeah, we can control it all.
No, we can't control it if nobody's here and everyone is dead.
So these two guards are still cowering, as they're just completely bewildered by what they've seen. However, at the end of their turns, you hear Alana shout out, "Lower your weapons, men! The only two hostiles here are the traitors. I understand that you're all afraid, blah 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 blah, magic is bad, yada yada, but don't attack these guys, they're our allies, they'll help, you'll see, because they're going to protect the city." What do you do, Tam?
He is going to point to the 2 bags of food with his spear and say, "Your bags are packed. Get out."
Well, shouldn't we escort them a distance? Make sure.
Tam's plan was to send them out and actually shadow them and see what they did.
Okay.
And preferably be there when they drop dead of the things that he's giving them.
Okay, yeah, because I don't want them scurrying off somewhere. We were already thinking alive, we just didn't know it.
I mean, this is personal vengeance for killing his wife and trying to kill his daughter, so...
Yeah, I get it.
The two men look scared at you, and Lana snaps her fingers and barks a couple of orders at the guards who are kind of hesitant. Maybe somebody speaks out, and she's like, "Recognize my authority, damn it!"
Yeah.
And everybody kind of stands down. They're all nervous and maybe kind of angry, but they listen to Lana's
They're
orders.
confused.
Well, if soldiers are good for nothing else, they're good for following orders.
Yeah.
And respecting, command.
Yeah.
I really love how she went from the kind of nobody sidekick to Machiavelli to Cartman in the space of one session.
I love it.
Well, she was never nobody's sidekick. I mean, she was the healer, the only healer that the city had. She was patching people up and taking care of them for a long time. But, I mean, as I explained earlier, she's putting herself second, putting everybody else first, and trying to keep it all together.
Right, gentlemen, your little care package. One for you, and one for you.
2 guards come up for each of these men and pull them up to their feet, and they communicate that they will escort these 2 to the gate.
Great. Well, that is good. You know what? Everybody should see them off. Everyone knows.
Lana agrees. Lana says that essentially their walk out of this city will be the walk of shame, and everyone will know their betrayal. She gets up and leads the guards who are escorting those 2 traitors, and everybody kind of follows out as she leads them to the city and away from the barracks.
So as they're doing that, since I'm assuming the Walk of Shame is going to take a while, Tam is going to burn 2 key points to put Pass Without Trace on himself, and he's going to get set up to follow, actually get out of the city ahead of them and to shadow them as they go.
Nice. I won't even make you. Well, yeah, I'll make you roll. Just don't roll a 1.
It's a lot of pressure to put on somebody.
I mean, the way I've been rolling today,
Yeah, I mean,
With luck, you'll roll another 4 instead.
I'm running out of dice colors to change this to, is the point I'm making.
yeah, you've run through the color spectrum. You've had all the colors of the rainbow. You're so colorful, Tam.
Okay, so that's
You just go to ultraviolet.
Do you want me to hold Kitty Fury while
There
you
you
do
go.
this?
Holy crap.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you had the effect twice.
Oh, okay.
it's only a 33.
Still.
Only a 33.
I was like, plus 27. How in the...
I was expecting a long rest to have wiped all the effects, so that's why I reapplied it.
Oh, I gotcha.
Look at the combat tracker.
So you'll probably have to. I mean, I could do that, but
I fixed it.
and just keep track of that in the future. Please.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I no longer have the effect either.
You turn into this amoeba like shadow form and dissipate into the broad daylight, and nobody notices.
I was standing right by him. It's like you're gonna do that thing, aren't you?
Before
He just throws down a smoke bomb and disappears.
Yeah, he did that thing. That's the thing I was talking about.
So this walk of shame is taken kind of slowly, and
Do
the
people have
soldiers
like
their
switches and palms like to hit them with?
no.
Aww.
However, some of the kids are throwing rocks. These people have had their weapons and armor completely removed. They are left down to some of their bare clothing and the packs that were given to them. And some of the guards are kind of spewing out insults and shit. It's very shameful for 2 people who were in basically the army for a while. Literally, their signs of rank and all that have been stripped from them.
Is there a nun with a bell?
There's actually an old priest-looking fellow who is whipping himself as he goes down the stairs and talking about I don't know, was it the light or something? The guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the Lord of Light.
Some shit like that.
Whatever, I forget.
That was actually the reference,
Yeah.
a reference I was making, which
Yeah,
Jerry got.
yeah, I do.
It's been a while since I've seen Game of Thrones.
Shame! Shame!
But at least they're not having to walk naked through the streets like for.
At least, you know, they've got their care packages, you know.
I really wish I had stocked up on rotten fruit.
I
Like I
know.
said, kids are throwing stones and shit like that.
Don't know how I feel about children throwing stones. It's not, you know.
So you guys walk these 2 out of the city, and the gate is firmly shut behind them. But Tam can make it outside if you would like to before they exit the city, and the 2 kind
Which
of
he
wander
does.
off. They wander off. I want to say a little bit to the north, northeast of the city. It doesn't appear like there's anything in that direction, but you know that they could possibly be going to the King's Road.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's
they don't.
gonna shadow them.
Yeah.
I will say that for now, their trajectory, they do not look like they're heading towards the heart of the kingdom.
No, why would they? That's not
Where is their path taking them in relation to where we know the Legion outpost to be?
They are headed directly towards the area that you think that it's at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it a little bit
How
of
far
time.
away is that?
From your talking with Zelda, you think it's probably a day's worth of travel, maybe a day and a half.
Give them just a few hours, and if they don't drink or eat anything, then do it.
Have they eaten or drunk?
Not yet.
Okay.
As any semi-sensible desert folk, they're trying to
Make it
spare
last.
their rations. Yeah.
That can make it difficult. I don't want you to waste your time, but at the same time, if you don't have to kill them, can without conscience say, they.
Oh, there's conscience isn't an item here.
Yeah, I know, but if ever you were zoned to truth on it, it would be nice if you
You
didn't
know,
have to be compromised on it.
Well,
Yeah, but-
it's the same thing that if he does stab him, it's like I didn't kill him, the spear killed him.
you know that with the harshness of the sun in this particular desert, as well as the dangers of the night, as you guys encountered with your poor donkey, Lucy. Anyways, you guys, I know, I'm sorry, Tamery, but you know that if they don't consume their food and use proper shelter, by the time that they get to the Legion place, they will be dead.
Well, at this point, he's just going to continue following them until they are dead, or they leave the place.
And we will come back to Tam. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to apologize profusely to Lana for T-Rex Gate. It's like that. I know that my little teleport thing was kind of on the fence, but that but nobody got hurt. Well, except for Dolan. And in a few days' time, they can actually look back on it and be like, "I've never saw that before. That was quite something. I have something to tell my grandkids." You know.
Lana reciprocates your politeness. She says that she really appreciates your cooperation and understands that things can be difficult at times.
Yeah.
But hopefully, in the future, you guys will communicate better about your plans.
Yeah, that would be good. We really need to coordinate that better, and we're gonna get on your Oasis thing. As soon as we all reconvene because we want to see that done. But yeah, so all your people will be working together now. Your water will be good. Hopefully, outside factors won't bother you. No
With
zombies.
the guards that we know are who are loyal, at least as far as we know, um, now is a perfect time to convene and talk, but you don't necessarily need to be there. What I need to know is now that we have the resources of the city at our hands, such as they are, what do you need from the guards? What resources do you need to deal with this oasis?
I haven't seen it myself. My colleagues have been there apparently. It's I don't know if it's a matter of chucking more people at it necessarily.
Well, no one we've sent out has returned, so you or your colleagues know more than we do at this point.
Well,
That's what I'm really asking is, would the guardsmen here get in your way, or would you like them to help you?
well, it depends on if it could be an experience that could help them witness the benefits of people who do kind of what we do because they're very afraid of it, you know?
If field training them is your concern, then I would recommend you take them out on a separate mission. I reiterate, no man we've sent out has come back.
Okay.
As
Alright.
far as we're aware, this is a suicide mission, but it needs to be done, and you're the most powerful folks here.
Alright.
Ilvin has set up and is brewing coffee, and as Tabery is discussing all this stuff, he kind of takes out his deck of cards, and he just kind of flips down through the deck a little bit, peeks at the corner of the card, winces, and says, "No, we shouldn't bring them."
Alright. So we'll figure out something. I just would like for them to have a couple of good more experiences, than say what they have had, because I would rather them make up their own minds about disliking something rather than being told how to feel about it. If they don't, if mm, if I summon a huge hand, and if I do good things with that hand, I don't want them disliking it just because it's a different tool, you know. Is all. I mean, if y'all decide really that magic is not your cup of tea and that y'all just disliked it. It's more trouble than it's ever worth, fine. But I would like more for that to be y'all deciding it.
And if you
You
guys
know,
really do decide that, I happen to know a way to shut down magic in this entire region.
really,
Hmm.
that's that's very interesting.
I
You
staved
know,
it off last time.
true, true. You know, we just govern how y'all want to be governed and leave it at that. That's
I will say surviving in the desert would be
yeah, I
probably
know.
really
It's
difficult
like
without magic, given your
you're y'all
resources.
are y'all are the rows in the sand that survive. So what y'all do works. So yeah, we need to hunt down a Tam Dolan. You got a little blood there. Um,
No, I'm fine. All the damage was taken by the T-Rex.
oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good. So it was just your dignity. Okay, that
And
can
my feelings.
hang your feelings.
They didn't need to do that.
That was a very clever move that you did to try to bring out any other traitors amongst them.
Yeah.
17 deception.
Anyway, Anton, I know that you hit something, and I feel that we owe it to you to make that happen to some degree.
I will say that we're getting pretty close to 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
why don't we call it for the night
Yeah.
and reconvene next week?
Yeah. Next week, the Oasis. Troubles at the Oasis.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up, the players, the viewers, and I hope you guys had a great time and hope to see you next week.
It was a
Good
strange
night,
game.
everybody.
Night. Party on.